StreamYard's already tried to start some shit with me, y'all. They hate your girl. Anyway, we back on as usual. Trying to cut me out of here. You can't cut me out of here, goddammit. Anyways, welcome to another episode of Fuck Everybody. Let's see who we got in the chat. Lord have mercy. Can y'all hear me now? They cut my corny music off and everything. I told you, Dusties are a protected breed. Okay? All right. Bridge Burner is in here. Melinda's in here. Hendrix Chick is in here. I can't believe they cut me off. Howland Lords, Raven. They won't let me go all the way back up. Oh, they hated on me. God damn it, hating on your girl. Got Cotton Candy in here. Ruby is in here. She said, MC, she said she's tickled at the title. Wait till you hear what I got to say, girl. Nubia Blake is up in the building. Who else we have? Alexandra's here. Kay Sloan is here. Nisha's here. Tammy's here. All the regulars are in the building. Thank y'all. Listen, I know y'all be saying, hey, this bitch be having a lot of technical difficulties. It ain't me, I promise. They hating. I probably got reported by now. Okay? Anyways, we came up in here to talk about the Dusties in your family. I need you guys to know that they are indeed Dusties. Just because they fell off your family tree, that don't mean they ain't Dusty. Just because they played with you when you was little, the rest of us see them for real. You see them as Cuzzo. We see him as that dusty ass nigga that live across the street. Okay. All right. She said it's YouTube. It probably is. Ain't no telling. Let me add my girls to the stream. Uh-oh, we got twins. What's going on, Lonnie?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know which one I'm talking to, but I can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Let me remove one and see what happened. If you get knocked off, come back, okay?
Okay.
You still here?
Um, mm.
You still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, good, good, good. And can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Okay. Yeah, she is beautiful. They say you have a pretty avatar.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Lonnie was actually the one that came up with this topic here. And of course, I got a couple stories to share because I had inappropriate family members coming up too. But Lonnie, introduce yourself. Do your thing, babe.
Oh, okay. Hey, everybody. My name is Lonnie. I'm from the Midwest, and I am Divested Zealots, one of her loyal, faithful YouTube subscribers. And that's basically it.
Okay, well, tell them what you're here for because this is getting ready to get real touchy in this bitch.
Oh, yeah, it's about to get, real ugly. But I feel like this is a topic that needs to be discussed because I feel like, of course, it happens a lot, but we don't really discuss it and go into the different layers of it like we should.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, I got some cousin stories to tell you. Did you
Yes.
want me to kick it off?
I'm sorry.
Did you want me to kick it off or you want to go first?
Oh, yeah, no, you can kick it off and then I can piggyback off of you.
Okay, well, I have a cousin named Sean. He is probably 8 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he asked my mom, "Can I come and babysit him and his girlfriend's baby?" So she said, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'm getting ready to make a little money." I mean, I'm about 13 years old. Okay. After
Mm-hmm.
they get back from clubbing or whatever they're doing, he came back. They went to bed. The baby went to sleep, and since it was so late, I was spending the night.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know this Dusty MFer came to where I was sleeping at on the couch with a grocery bag in his hand, said, "We can use this for a condom."
What?
Okay. So
Uh,
that was one of my first introductions into family members being inappropriate. And
mm-hmm.
I still to this day won't go anywhere near him. Won't
Mm-hmm.
go anywhere near him. And the crazy thing is, I've never told my husband about this, and he absolutely loves Sean. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's just real awkward. So I don't bring my family around. But anyway, your turn. Up, she fell off. Well, let me tell you another story. Have a cousin named Jamar. I hope they out here listening because yeah, I'm bringing the smoke today. Um, we were the same age, and when we were in high school, he also proposed that we go ahead and because he's never had sex before, so I should show him what to do. Now, these are 100% pure, true stories. And when I say I don't mess with my family, people look at me sideways, but that's why. Now, that's two male cousins that tried to get legit sex from me. Okay. We're not going to talk
Mm-hmm.
about the inappropriate, you know, comments that are made. Go ahead. You back, Lonnie.
Can you hear me?
Lonnie acting like me with the technical difficulties. You sound like me with the technical difficulties.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? It was stuff going
Yeah, I
on.
can hear you.
Okay.
I'm here.
Uh huh. Okay. I'll be right back. I just had a knock at my door. I'll be right back.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so y'all know the drill. I'm getting ready to share the link. If you guys have anything you care to tell, listen, don't feel like you got to come up here and spill any tea. I'm comfortable in my shit. I've had therapy and all that good stuff, so I'm comfortable saying what happened to me, if you're not comfortable saying what you want to say, do not say it. And as a matter of fact, I recommend that you talk to a therapist before you spill your guts in front of a bunch of strangers. Okay? The link is in the chat if anybody wants to come up. But this happens more often than not, and you'll be very surprised that when you bring up this subject around other people, how many people jump in on it. Me too, and me too, me too, and me too, and my cousin too, my brother too, my daddy, my whoever. Okay, and it's really sad. It's all right, Nisha. I'm good to go now. Trust me. Sometimes when I'm around different women, I can tell something went on when they start talking about their family. Okay.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
That's
Can you hear
cool.
me?
Mommy has tattoos is getting ready to be added as well.
Okay, yeah, great.
Hey,
I'm
Mommy,
sorry, it
can
was
you
a
hear
whole bunch of
us?
stuff going on.
Can you hear us? Mommy has
Yes, I can hear
tattoos.
y'all. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we
Okay.
can. Go ahead. I'm listening.
You heard
Okay.
me? Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. I was like, who's going?
Oh yeah, no, I was ready to go. I'm sorry, I just had one of my neighbors came and knocked on the door at the same time, so I was just trying to get that squared away so I could be with you guys. But um, what made me want to ask divested zealot if she would speak about this is because the week before last, I had encountered one of my older cousins. He's like in his mid 50s. He's like, um, close to my mom and my uncle's age. He grew up with them. I didn't grow up with him. And it's like, I know he my cousin, but, wasn't never no connection there. So over the past, like maybe 3 to 4 years, I would see him more and we would talk and laugh, and just get better acquainted. I'm 38 years old. I think he's like 55. So, like I said, we just started really getting to know each other as adults because, I didn't grow up with him. He's not in my age bracket, nothing like that. So, the week before last, my mother lives around the corner from him. So I had stopped over my mom's to check on her. And then she was like, hey, your cousin Vic was asking about you. I was like, yeah, while I'm over here, I'm just going to go right around the corner, holler at him real quick on my way home. So we start talking. We're standing outside, it's cold. So I'm like, I'm finna get in my truck. And he was like, okay, I'll get in there and talk to you real quick before you leave. So we get in my truck and we're just talking, having regular ass conversation. Then all of a sudden, out of the blue, he just like, and you know what, y'all, I should have noticed that it was something weird because every time we would talk and I would be like, oh, I'm talking to somebody or I'm dating somebody, he would say weird shit to me like, oh, well, I don't want you to have nobody. And I'd be like, what? What the fuck do you mean? You don't want me to have nobody? Like, and I just used to dismiss that shit. So we were sitting in my truck and we were talking, and then he tells me, I'm getting ready to go. And I'm like, all right, okay, I'm finna go cuz love you. He like, okay, I love you too. And then I'm like, okay. And then he was like, no, I really love you. And I was like, what do you mean you really love me? He was like, well, cause you so beautiful. You know what I'm saying? You're so smart and talented, your business mind, how you always come up with all of these ideas to have these businesses and everything like that. Because I last year I lost my business, but my business was a transportation company that I lost last year due to COVID. So I'm about to start a online coffee shop and a virtual private mailbox service right now. That's what me and him was talking about. I was telling him ideas, just how you would talk to any of your family.
Right.
So he jumps up and he's like, I love you. And I'm like, what do you mean you love me? He's like, I'm in love with you. And I want us to move away from here so we can be together. And I was like, huh? What? So instantly I got so uncomfortable. And I was like, I said, I just kind of, it's, look, I'm a great conversationalist. It's hard to shut me up. But when he said that, he blew my fucking head back. I was stuck
I feel you.
with the response. So I just, I
You're
got out of
amongst
that. I got out of that jam,
your
and
company. Trust me. I know how you feel. Looking at that grocery bag, that was the grossest shit I ever seen in my life, and I couldn't believe he was serious.
It was so weird. And so I'm like, okay, well, I gotta go, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, we gonna have to get together. I had just moved out of my house and got me an apartment. I downsized. He like, oh, you ought to let me come over so I can help you unpack this and this and that. And I'm thinking to myself, if you really think that I'm going to, first of all, allow myself to be in verbal contact with you again, let alone invite you to let you know where I live at my new crib so you can try to come over there and be alone with me, is you crazy? Now, I didn't want to, put myself in a fucked up predicament. This is shit that I'm thinking, but I didn't say this.
Right.
No. So I'm thinking this in my head when he's like, oh yeah, well, just call me, we can get together. And I'm just like, oh my God, they really are crazy and have fucking mental problems and they're delusional as hell.
Lonnie, let me ask you this. Did you tell anyone?
No.
See what I mean? Same case with me. And I guarantee you there's somebody listening right now that have the same experience, not exactly, but sort of like what we just told. You get what I'm saying? It's not uncommon.
I know it's not. But then you know what it is in Blackistan, because I'm divested. I only deal with certain family members. And I felt like, first of all, he is my mom and my uncle's favorite. I didn't grow up with my mother. She did not raise me. I grew up in foster care. But me and her are still cool. But Vic is one of her favorite male cousins. Same thing with my uncle. My uncle, he's more like my father figure. So as far as like the people who I talk to in my family, I don't really talk to a lot of people in my family because a lot of them are jealous of me because I always have a business and my entrepreneurial spirit. So it'll be a lot of jealousy with anything, and they always be ready to say something fucked up to me, just off the strength of jealousy, So I didn't say anything because I'm like, why would I say something? They're not going to believe it.
Right.
They're going to try to find a way to blame me.
Right.
Or they're just going to be in denial and not believe it. Oh, you know what? Vic would never, or, he would never.
Of course, none of them will ever do anything like that. We all are just fucking crazy. Mommy with the tattoos, you can jump in, babe.
Oh, hey y'all, what's up?
Hey.
I think I was on here before, and then I'll be so busy, so I always miss the shows. I always catch it later. But I saw this and I was like, you know what? Let me go on here. I was like, let me, I'm gonna make some time to get on here, hop on here real quick. But but yeah, I came from a fucked up family. Like all the men, most of the men, not all of them, but most of them in my fucking family are dusty, are nasty, are pedophiles, rapists, pimps, all of them. But let me talk about the cousins though. So I told you guys a little bit about me before, but I was adopted by my great aunt, my grandpa's sister, and it was a whole bunch of shady stuff that happened because my mom was on drugs and stuff, and then they set her up to get us taken away because you get money when kids go into foster care. But anyways, she trusted my great aunt and she thought that it would be a good place for us to go there. So I got exposed to all my great aunts, this dysfunctional family, and her grandsons, which are my cousins. They're like, she's male identified, so she loves the boys more. She loves the boys and the mixed kids more than she loves the girls, the regular black girls. And so she hated girls. I don't know why, but she hated girls.
That's a Blackistan trait.
Yeah, and her, my little cousins that I grew up with that were our age, she would abuse us, and he would egg her on. Like, he would egg her on. He was so evil. And if you told his mom that he was doing hitting on us, doing stuff, and then lying and putting it on us, like, his mom would take up for him and then whoop us. And then, so, he was coddled his whole life, his whole fucking life. But then the grown ones, they were allowed to, my aunt's grandson, her older grandson, he was a rapist and a pedophile. The first time I think he touched me was like, I was like 9 years old, and he was trying
Mm.
to, he was coming in like, oh, like I'm 31, so this was back in like I think like 99 or 98. So I was like, what, 8 or 9 or something. And you know how, like, the dance music videos come on and you by yourself, you think all the adults gone, and so you try to dance to do the shit on TV. And I think I was doing that, and he came in there. I like the way you do that. Oh,
See,
you dance good. You do that for anybody else? And it just started just shit like that. And then but the first time I got the courage to tell somebody, I was 12. And his girlfriend, we was in Texas, and his girlfriend was laying right in the fucking living room. And he came in trying to fill me up and shit while I was sleeping. And
oh my God.
I told my great aunt, which is his grandma, and she told me to come lay by her, and that was about it.
See,
And then
this is what I'm
even,
talking about. This is what I
and then
mean.
eventually, he would go on to rape me. When I
Oh
was
my God.
16, like I was 16, and then and I was exposed to a whole bunch. This is just him. I was exposed to a whole bunch of other motherfuckers, but and then that was the worst. One of the Like, I was 16. I grew up in my teens in Dallas, and then, so, it's a lot of fast ass boys out there. They trying to get you to fuck and do all this stuff. And I had never been exposed to that in California until when I was in Dallas around more black boys, I got exposed to that. And then I was like, no, I'm trying to keep my virginity, and I want to wait until I'm married and shit. But then my own cousin fucking stole my shit from me. And then
Yeah, they don't care. They don't
Nope,
care.
they sure
And
don't.
I didn't even tell. I didn't have nobody to tell, because who the fuck am I going to tell? Like, his great aunt, his grandma is torturing me and my siblings to death. And I'm about positive he raped my brother too, my little brother. But my little brother won't, like, talk about it. But I'm about positive that I truly believe he raped my little brother, but he won't talk about it though. But these motherfuckers are just let rampant in the family. And people always tell me, oh, that's my favorite cousin. And you tell, even when the people find out about it, oh, they ain't got nothing to do with me. Cause that happened a long time ago. I don't know nothing about that. And then, my little cousin who I grew up with, I've watched this motherfucker ruin women's lives. Like, I watched it. The girl he ruined is a white girl, and she was slow. She's slow as hell. Like, you talk to her,
Damn.
and you can tell she was slow. Cause I remember I was mad at her because she said some shit before, and then I realized she was slow. And and then he was beating on her and shit, and his mom was letting him live in the house, just letting him live in the house and run the place and bring her in there, beating on her and shit. And then she ended up going to become a full-blown drug addict and lost the kids that they had and shit. And he done moved on and doing better with his life. And now he's a good dad. They saying he's a good dad and shit. Like, what about his daughter's mom? What,
They
you gonna
don't
tell
give
your
a they don't give
fucking,
a fuck about her. Let me
yeah,
point
what,
something out real quick, y'all. We have the highest participation. I got people trying to get in here to tell their story. Let me tell you something. This is the most people I had clicked the link ever. Ever. I can't even fit everybody up here because everybody has a story about these dusty ass people in Blackistan. That is
right,
really messed up. It's messed
right.
up.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, it's
It is
sick, and
messed up.
I'm trying to do, because I'm trying to heal myself first. I'm 31, and I'm trying to heal myself. I'm away from all these motherfuckers. I just moved to San Antonio, Texas, where I ain't got no family, nothing, and it sucks sometimes. But I just got away from all of them, and they don't got my number. Yeah, I see him on Facebook. I don't even talk to none of them because I don't want to be exposed. Because one thing that I just learned about is familiar. I think it's called familial pedophilia. It's pretty much when you get when you got pedophiles and rapists running in the family, and they start hurting kids, and then those kids grow up, and they hurt kids. They become pedophiles themselves and
Uh-huh.
touch the kids within the family, and then it just goes on and on and on, and generations and generations, and until maybe somebody gets the fuck out. And
That's
I'm
what
one of the lucky ones
that's
who
what's
got the fuck
passed
out.
down in Black culture, not wealth
Right.
and stuff like that. It's only dysfunction. She
And
jump in here.
fuckery. Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi guys. Oh my gosh. Like that whole story just blew my whole brain wide open. Like
Which
Yes.
I'm
story?
so sorry that you experienced that. That is wow. Just wow.
Mm.
And everything that I was hearing, it actually took me back to I'm gonna give you guys a story about what happened to my mum when she was really young. My mum is like 66 now, and she was born in Zambia, Northern Rhodesia, during just after colonialism. So this is like one story that will give you the pathology of a lot of these men and where it started from, not really where like you guys are experiencing it probably as it has transcended through. But yeah, so basically my mum had this cousin who would always come home, and my mum grew up in the village, and at the time the village was like basically it was completely colonized at the time. And yeah, so she basically had this cousin that used to come from one village to the other, and he was always like a part of like their growing up. And there was one evening when my grandpa was like a really like very very influential part of my mom's life. He was the primary parent between my grandmother and my grandfather. So my mom and her sisters were like in the house with this cousin, and he basically exposed himself to them. Like he dangled his pee in front of them. And my mom, because of the way my grandfather had kind of raised her, she just screamed so loud that my grandfather heard. He ran inside, and then they basically just started screaming like, "Oh my god, he just showed his thing!" Da, da, da. And she was like, My grandfather literally dragged him out of the room. They never saw him again after that. This cousin, he was never
Oh
seen again.
wow.
Yeah, he was never seen again. My grandpa did not play around at all. And in my head, I'm like, I almost feel like that could be part of the reason why that was trickled down in my family, and it's something that we never have really experienced like that. Though when I hear these stories, it doesn't take away from the fact that this is like terrifying. Like to hear all these kind of stories. This is not the first time I've heard a lot of them, but it's like terrifying, you know that families will let this happen and they'll brush it under it's that kind of thing of, oh, it's going to be brushed under the rug, no one's really going to talk about it. I think that's it's a bit scary. I don't know, maybe that's just me, it's just terrifying.
These little kids know that nothing's going to happen because they've seen it before or they've heard their mother talk about what happened to her in her generation. Nobody's doing any jail time, so they like, why embarrass myself? You get what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Jump in, Casty.
Hi. Um, I just wanna, I'm not sure how to say this, but I just wanna like make sure that I'm not the only one who realizes how girls are being groomed to do certain things and how boys can just run rampant.
No, you're not the only one, hon.
My family's West African, but I was born in California, but it's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. It's the same thing. It's just different cultures.
Mm-hmm. There's 7 brand of Blackistan, and if there was a nigga on Antarctica, then he would be a Dusty too. God damn it, he's just a Dusty with a coat and earmuffs. The hell,
And a polar bear.
Right.
Okay.
Rose Green, what's up, babe?
Hello. I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, I grew up with a mother who had she grew up in Michigan, and she has a reputation for stabbing and shooting people. So I never had any issues growing up with any sort of family members. And I don't have any issues. I've never had any issues with being abused or physically or sexually or anything. But one of the things that I feel it makes me very upset when I hear these stories, especially when I hear any story about how like female family members know these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciate there's a couple of women on your channel who I've heard talk about protecting your boys and your girls from everybody.
Right.
You know, and also like the mother's responsibility for, you know, if you see something in your child, you need to get a handle on that.
Immediately.
Immediately. Yeah. I really appreciate that because I feel like it's not, I don't even feel like I know it's not said. That's literally the first time I'd ever heard it. You know, the idea of you see where women acknowledge, you know, you see your children and you know what's going on. If you see something, do something about it. Cause like you hear a lot of like stories about how, oh, I always knew that my son was gay or he's got, you know, a little sugar in the tank or something. I knew, you know, when he was growing up. People will say those things, but then if you can see that, why didn't you see any of like the predatory behavior that they exhibit as, you know, growing up as well, which is so apparent, you know?
I agree. They notice when you got a different shade of lip gloss on though.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't see what he just said about my ass and my legs, and that's my first cousin. You didn't notice that though, did you, Mammy?
Can I add something?
Yes.
They see it, they know what's going on, they just choose to look away.
Period. And if you had this happen to you and you bring in random Dusties around your kids, shame on you. Because you know what's up.
Right.
If you have an experience firsthand, come on now.
Yeah,
And
I see
then
a lot of
people
that in
wonder
my
why I would
family.
never let my daughter or my kids be around any men, even my ex-husband. I didn't let them be alone with them. Nobody. That's why I don't trust people because of reasons like what we're talking about right now.
And, you know, I
Yes.
had a stepdad growing up, very loving man. You know, he's a big fat part of our family you know, we love him. You can't tell him that we aren't his kids, you know? And one of the things I used to tell my mother growing up was like, you know, I'm the greatest. Dan loves me, blah, blah, blah. He never complains anything about me. And when I got older, she set me straight. She says, you know, actually Dan does complain about the things that you do. It's just that when I first brought him home, I let him know, you know, complain about me as opposed to my brothers. But my mother told me, you know, as I got older that she said, you know, when I brought Dan home, and you know, decided to marry him and everything, I let him know that any problems that you have with my daughter, you don't ever say anything to my daughter. Not ever. If you have anything to say to my daughter, you say it to me and I will address it. You don't say anything to my daughter.
I don't blame you. I don't. Don't even tell her to have a good day, nigga. Keep moving. Keep moving.
I think more women need to be more like that.
Yeah, I agree because you can't unring that bell once it's rung. Better to be overprotective. Enough of us are already damaged. While we're sitting here speaking, statistically, there's a girl somewhere being damaged while we're talking. Okay, right now. Anyone of you can jump in. That's cool. Everybody's had a turn, so jump in whenever you want.
Okay, well, I have another
story.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you can go. I'll go after.
Okay. I have another story about now you heard about an older Dusty because that cousin I was telling you about, he been to prison like I think 3 times for driving. And I don't know what it is about black males that don't want to get a driver's license. It's like a pandemic. Look, I know it's like this other places, not just here where I live at in the Midwest.
They got
I know
warrants,
it's got to
girl. They got warrants.
Yes.
They can't go in the DMV. They're gonna be like, Dusty, turn around, put your hand behind your back. On board.
But I don't know what it is. And it's a lot of the males in my family too. They just don't want to do anything the legit way. It's like, what is so hard about studying the little book and going to the DMV and just taking a test and getting your fucking driver's license? They don't want to do anything the correct way. I don't
Because
understand.
sister, that's the white man. They trying to hold him down. They just want to
Girl,
give
I
him a
can't
driver's
stand it.
license so they can know where he at all times.
True story, because they say dumbass shit like that.
I
And
can't.
but this cousin, yeah, he old as fuck, been in prison 3-4 times. I believe that he's gay when convenient, because
Ooh.
he seems feminine to me. He got a lot of kids. He got like 5 kids. And the woman that he's with, he goes back and forth in between her and one of his kids' moms, because this woman is really a mammy. She is so desperate just to have a man and just to have someone there. She does everything for him. Like, she, will pay his bills, whatever bill, like his cell phone bill, child support. She just does everything for him. And they've been back and forth for about at least 10 years. But, and no, she's not an attractive woman, but I'm like, you just still don't have to go this far. Why are you doing this? You
Get
know
a
what I'm
cat.
saying? But
Get a
she
goddamn
just
cat.
is so desperate for him. And I just be like, what the fuck is you so desperate for him for? He ain't shit. He don't have shit to offer you. Like, what is it? Why? I don't understand why you just can't be alone. I enjoy being alone. I was married for 10.5 years, and it was the worst time in my fucking life. He was the biggest whore in America. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
And I've been divorced since 2013, and I had one engagement back in 2017, and it didn't work out because he turned out to be a narcissistic sociopath. I can tell you about that if you want to know. I got a lot of stories, but I enjoy being alone. I enjoy being alone. I enjoy being by myself. Both of my kids are grown, and they live on their own. I have a 20-year-old son and an 18-year-old daughter. And
That's a
that's why
different
I
type of
just,
freedom. I love
yes,
that.
and
Both of my kids are grown too.
I love it, girl. And that's why, that's why I just moved out of my house. Like I told you, I just moved out a month ago. I downsized from a 4-bedroom. I used to be a foster parent for a long time. I've spent many years taking care of other people, whether it's my ex-husband kids, because he had 5 kids. Me and my ex-husband have no kids together. He had 3 when I got with him, and then he had 2 during our marriage. So
Oh
he
my
had
God.
5 kids. Girl, it was a mess. And he a damn sociopath too. He crazy as hell. But I am grateful for the lessons that I learned from him, because it taught me how to deal with men. And you know what? I don't deal with, the only black males that I talk to and have interactions with is my son, my brother. My brother is an entrepreneur like me, and he's smart as hell. And my uncle. I don't talk to them. I don't
just
talk
deal
to
with the Amazon man. Whenever they
I,
believe bringing me something, the Amazon man, the FedEx man,
bro, I'm
everybody
saying.
else can kick rocks with flip flops. Period.
I'm telling you, I don't deal with none of them. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want you around me. I don't make eye contact with them when I go out. Like and everybody think, of course, the people in Blackistan. Oh, well, you ain't talking to why you ain't interacting and talking to no black man? You just feel bitter because of the black man you choose. I just told somebody last night, how if somebody sit 4 dozen of rotten ass peaches in front of you, telling you gotta pick one, what the fuck you supposed to pick? They all fucked up. That's what all the black men are. All of the black men are fucked up. Everybody, millions of women all over the world cannot have the same fucking story.
Thank you.
Why is everybody say you could talk to a woman in Africa, you could talk to a woman in California, you could talk to a woman in Michigan, a black woman, you could talk to a black woman in Canada, Europe, they all say the exact same shit and have fucked up ass stories about their interactions and treatment with black men.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. I can't stand them.
Right. I just want to jump in actually, because everything that you're saying is
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on.
No, I was listening to all of it. And Like, I live in the UK and I can literally vouch for everything you just said, especially because it started from the license thing. Like, my brother had no license for years. Okay, so I have two brothers. My parents have 6 kids in total. I'm the youngest. My brothers are like in between, somewhere in the middle. And my parents, particularly my mother, did everything for them. Like, she made sure she put them in a private school and she paid for everything, and they had the best start. And guess who are the two people who are blaming her for their failure in life? Of course it's going to be the two of them. She literally set them up to, if they wanted to be prime minister of the UK, they could be. Like, that's how she set them up. And yet they still both failed. And what gets me the most is that license thing. My brother didn't have his license for years. And then he got with this like obese white girl who was like discarded by this Nigerian guy who married her and had no interest in her. Got with her, and like she's basically been like a surrogate mother. Like, my mom, it's like he goes between my mom and her for everything that he needs in life. It is so ridiculous. I cannot even, like, some days I'm just like, am I living in the Twilight Zone? Half of the shit that I see him do, he literally lives in a perpetual state of, my mom will do this for me, she'll pay rent for me, she'll do this for me. My mom does everything for him. She'll pay rent for me, she'll do this, and then my girlfriend will like feed me, she'll do all of that. So literally what you're saying is just, I want everybody to know it's not just in the United States that it's happening everywhere. And we are like, I wasn't even born in the UK, I was born back home, but we grew up here. So it's like, even in Africa, I can tell you it's happening there too.
I bet. I
And,
bet
you
it's
know,
happening in hell too.
and you know,
It's
it
happening
happens
in
at all
Yes.
levels too.
It
Yes,
is.
you know, like I wanted to like, you know, one of the ladies said about, you know, holding our, you know, our kids accountable when we see things are fucked up in them. And you know, I was just thinking about how I got a lot of family members who pretty much coddle their sons, and they, you know, that's why my cousins they just so fucked up. They had a mom that coddled them and just kind of threw stuff under the rug. And for that's why I try to tell women, especially younger Black women, when you come from a fucking dysfunctional family, get the fuck out. And you don't need to be responsible. Oh, that's my cousin and he got this going on and that going on. Oh, he cool. Like, some of them will literally set you up to get fucked over by their cousins and shit. Like,
Yeah.
I've had cousins who stole from me when I was homeless.
Oh,
Stole from me
damn.
when I was homeless and living out of my car for a minute. And that's a whole nother story. I was living with an uncle because when I got out of the army, I fucked up and I let my family members move in my apartment, or just let them come in my apartment because I missed them so much. And it was in and out of my fucking apartment, just doing all the types of nigga shit, smoking weed and shit. And then eventually, about half the year through, I kicked all the motherfuckers out. I was like, y'all need to get because it was been fucking with my mental health. Because I was like, I never had this before. I've been overseas so long, and I don't have motherfuckers in my house like that. And it was just bothering me. But I kicked them all out. But it was a little bit too late because I couldn't renew my lease. So I had to go move in with my uncle. And I moved in with him, and this motherfucker let his pedophile brother move in. I was
Oh my
gone.
God.
I was gone for a month into training for the army. And I came back, and this mother was talking, and he was like, oh, you know, he coming here. And I was like, what the fuck you mean you coming here? I got my daughter here, people who trust me with their kids. What do you mean? Oh, and he was like, oh, he coming here, you know, whatever y'all got going on, that ain't got nothing to do with me. And I got a U-Haul, and I got my shit, and I left, and I was homeless for about 2 or 3 months until I found a place out, you know, where I moved to. And during that time, one of my cousins stole my debit card and bought a whole bunch of shit. And I was like, wow. That's why, you know, I tell people, don't be afraid to move away from these motherfuckers. Move away from them. Move away from people who associate with them. Because you're not responsible for none of these family. All you are really is just a bunch of motherfuckers who have blood relations. Like, just a bunch of strangers who have blood ties. That's it. You can cut these motherfuckers off any time. And it's important to cut them off because they're a danger to the people around you. They're a danger to the kids. When you have they target boys, they target girls, They tell when you have a little boy that's being molested, the same thing happens when you have the effects happen when they with molestation of little girls, and they some of them end up becoming violent. Some of them end up becoming pedophiles themselves. Some of them end up becoming, the very monsters that touch them. And it's like a familial pattern. So you have to get the fuck out of there and then just say to hell with all these people. And sometimes it's hard, but that's what you got to do, and get some therapy too. Get some fucking therapy, and then watch who, a lot of what I see a lot of times is a lot of women, especially single moms, they be letting motherfuckers just come in their house. Oh, that's my cousin. They call everybody their fucking cousin. Oh, that's my cousin. Oh, that's my cousin from that side. That's
every
my
one
cousin.
of her boyfriends is the kid's daddy too. Every last one of her boyfriends, that's daddy.
Yeah, and they bringing them around the kids, and they don't even know. They don't even know what these motherfuckers have got going on. Even when they do, even when they know that their cousins are pedophiles and rapists and all that shit, they still bring them in the home and expose their cousins and stuff to their little children, and then it just creates just a whole bunch of chaotic bullshit and trauma. And it's just, that's why, when they say that you got to watch you even got to watch your kids around your kids, because you got, that's where a lot of the shit happens when you're around your cousins. Like, how many fucking stories when you're around, you go to your cousin's house, your male cousin, and they trying to do some fucking incest shit, or the older ones, they rapists and all types of bullshit. And then they mamas and they daddies, they didn't have fucked up shit happen to them. And instead of doing something about it, they internalize it, and so they be like, oh well, it happened to me, so, or it happened to me, and there ain't nothing wrong with me, and then they just feel like it's okay. They just
Mommy
feel
has
like that shit
tattoos.
is
You can
okay.
be in a room with 10 black women, and chances are 6 of them have gotten violated, and then 2 ain't telling.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then you got the different ones. You got the ones who internalize that shit, and then they're pretty much male identified, pretty much, I guess. And then you got the ones who might be, turned into misandrous and just hate motherfucking men in general. But most of the time they become male identified. And for some reason that didn't happen with me, because I was like, I don't necessarily hate men in general, but I don't trust black men. I don't trust the motherfuckers in my family. And
why do we feel compelled to make sure people know that we don't, quote unquote, hate black men? If any group of women has a reason to hate, if anybody has a reason to hate them, we actually have a reason more than any other race of women. We constantly trying to tell people we're not bitter and this, that, and the third. If I was bitter, so what? I don't have a reason to be bitter.
Right. I just got over it. Just because of going to therapy and stuff, and but I mean, it's a couple of motherfuckers that if they came across me, I would probably end up in jail. But I don't trust motherfuckers.
Anybody can jump in if you want to. You don't have to just sit back and chill. We know we ain't being rude. We know we ain't being rude. We just talking up in here.
You know what is so crazy? What gets me is a lot of the time when women are experiencing things, it's actually being perpetuated by other women. And I've seen it firsthand. Like, I had a friend of mine tell me that when he was getting married, his grandmother asked him, have you beaten your fiance? You need to beat her now so that when you're married, she'll understand that that's normal, and then she'll listen to you. Like, women are a huge, in my culture anyway, I know this is not like in every culture, but in our culture, women are, I would actually say I've reached a point now as an adult, I've realized that it's like a 50-50 thing. A lot of the toxic shit that is perpetuated by the men is actually co-signed and perpetuated even more onto the women, by older women in particular. So when I see like the conversations that happen in Western black women, I see it even in my own like kind of culture as well. It's like it's pushed onto us by other women. The mammies transcend everything. They're everywhere, and they will continue to push that narrative. And I think a lot of it stems from, it happened to me, so it's gonna have to happen to you as well. Like, I think they have that mentality of, well, if I went through this, you're gonna have to experience it as well. So I'm not gonna save you from it.
it's not even just, I want to say I'm 35, and I live in Chicago, and it's not just older women either. Because I moved here when I was like 28, 29, and I had a girlfriend from high school, and we'd never spent any like significant amount of time together since, the couple of years we were in high school together. When I moved here, we start spending a lot of time together and doing a lot of things together. I met a lot of her friends as well. And this is, a Black woman, who was raised by the streets and basically abandoned and abused by her entire family, but went on to go to a very prestigious university, graduate summa cum laude, bought her own walk-up brownstone that she, has the top unit, and then she rents out the other units. Had amazing cars, going on all of these trips, makes, was almost at the time was almost at six figures. And she had a bunch of other Black girlfriends who were in the same places as she was. And, she was single, but she had like a bunch of guys who kind of like rotated in and out of her life. And, at the time I was just moving to Chicago. I had like a job at a theater, like a on-stage theater. And I also, worked as a barista. And I have like, my parents who are very well off, who like help supplement my income and help me get started and everything. And I went through this like period of like probably like a couple to 3 years of it was the first time I'd lived in one place for like a long time. And I went through a period of like a couple of 3 years of hanging out with her and other Black women here, before I finally dropped them all. And I discovered that all of these women all of them were like amazing. They were beautiful. They were fit. They were making a lot of money. Some of them were in relationships and some of them weren't. And some of them like, said that they didn't want to get married because Papa was a Rolling Stone and they don't believe in marriage because of X, Y, and Z, because you can't count on a man, and, so on and so forth. And here I was like a little, barista / part-time artist who I believed that like, I don't, like, if you got a man around, I don't pay any bills. I don't pay for anything. Period. If it's your birthday, I might buy the dress that I'm wearing and doll myself all nice. And if we're like in a relationship and I have access to your money, I will buy you a nice present with your money at this dinner that you take me to, that you're paying for your birthday.
I think Black women forgot who they were.
Yeah.
Y'all are the prize. You
We
understand
are,
what I'm saying?
But these women were telling me that, like, I had all of these women say, Rosemary, well, don't you think that you should like do something, like maybe pay for a meal every once in a while, or like pay for a trip, or like go 50-50 on bills? Or don't you think it's wrong to like depend on a man for money, or yada, yada, yada? And what if he leaves? And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm not been married, and I don't think I'm ever going to get married. But that's what marriage is for. You marry a man who makes enough money to keep you, and then you take him for everything that he's got.
Black women are parroting men's talking points.
They're not taught that. They were trying to tell me you gotta like you. They're like, but you're only a barista and you only make,
only.
Yeah, you're only a barista. You only make this much money. I'm like, well, my parents pay my bills, so I don't know what to tell you. But like, I was taught that, like, like really, my parents tell me if they weren't going to die, I never have to leave home and I never have to pay a bill, because that's what a husband's for. And if you have your money, that you do what you want, and you spend his money too. But I had all these wonderful, talented, really smart, beautiful women who make all this money trying to like undercut my standards, telling me you got to do this, you've got to do that and everything. And it's like, like you've got to have an amazing job and you've got to have several degrees in order to even get a man.
Is it okay if I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know a couple of women like that. You've described them to the T, and it does not end well for them.
Ever.
We're not friends.
Because we're not taught that. We're not taught to. It's so many things that we are not taught, and or even when you do try to teach. I have so many. When I used to have a mentoring agency, and when I would. I quit doing it and I didn't want to quit doing it, but I knew that I had to, because it was weighing on me emotionally and mentally too much, because the women the young women and young ladies, they would only listen to me on certain shit. They wouldn't.
Mm.
They would listen to me about the business shit because they to see the businesses that I had and see me be successful. They would listen to me about that. And this is one thing that we need to stop doing too. Just because somebody not in a relationship or married or constantly attached to a man, whether he black, white, or whatever, stop acting like just because a woman is not in a relationship and she's divorced or she been through some shit, like she can't tell you about what it's like to be in a fucking relationship. I have so much
Thank
advice
you.
that I can give women, but then they be like, because like I said, I was married for 10 and a half years and I've been divorced since 2013. So people be like, oh, well, you divorced, so I'm not finna listen to no woman who divorced. Why won't you listen to me? Do you know all the shit I can tell you?
Man.
But they listen to Kitten Heels.
They
And
listen
he
to
got
Kitten
2
Hills. Yes,
divorces.
he got 2
But that
divorces, but that's all the black male worship because they feel like a black man is more valuable than a black woman. No matter if he is the biggest whore in America or the biggest criminal you'll ever meet. They still feel like and I don't know what it is because I meet when I did used to I've been divested for 5 years, and when I did used to interact with black males, that they don't want to listen to you. I never met one that was smarter than me. Never met one, and I still haven't. I haven't met one that could match me intellectually, and especially when I start talking about business shit and all the shit that I know about different types of businesses. They can't match me. It always ends up one or two things end up happening. They end up trying to compete with me and getting jealous of me because of my brain power and how intelligent I am. And then so they start trying to compete with me, or they start trying to knock me down a couple of pegs, which that can never happen. But I'm a fucking predator. So if you try to prey on me, bitch, I'm gonna prey on your ass back. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get you anyway because I'm smarter than you. I can get your ass, but see, you can't get me. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Like when that's why when I say I don't interact with them. I don't talk to them.
Mm-mm.
No, but none of them. None
Mm-mm.
of them. And then when they try to engage me, I just ignore the fuck. I love doing the fucking silent treatment and
My dad
ignoring
passed
people.
away.
Silent and blocking. I'll be silent and I'll block your ass. You know what I'm saying? I love that combination. Because they don't know what to do. They feel like they're so entitled to you. They feel like they're entitled to your body, your care and concern, your sex, your time and your patience. They feel like they are entitled to you,
Guess who
all
taught
while
them
giving
that?
you nothing.
Guess who taught them that? We did.
Everybody. Yep, that's true.
We
yeah.
taught them that no matter what. I bet you none of you on this panel right now can name one thing that a Dusty could do to a mammy where it's like, okay, I can't be with him. She takes him back after everything.
They accept anything.
Yeah,
Molestation, cheating.
I was looking at I've been kind of trying to understand what all this is. I think it's kind of a mental illness because pretty much what it is. I was just talking to on a post about this. It's pretty much internalized misogyny, misogynaire. That's pretty much what it is. They internalize the toxic patriarchy, and then a lot of bad fucked up shit happens to them, and then we just internalize it, and we're taught, we're pretty much groomed. Black women are groomed from being when we are children to
You are.
that men. You see it when you see your mom or the women in your family coddling your cousins, your brothers, but then they all hard on you. You see it when you are molested or something happens to you at the hands of one of your family members, and then they tell you to throw it under the rug. And so what happens, a lot of women, they start growing up, when you grow up, and they grow up to think, oh, okay, I gotta protect my abuser. And then you got all this for my son shit, and I see my son and all these fucking dusty ass niggas, and they teach black women this. They teaching black girls this to at a young age to feel sorry for criminals, to see their family members in every dusty motherfucker, and if you say something, the white man is going to get him. So they teach you at as a young age to feel sorry, and that pretty much conditions you and brainwashes you, and that's how you get a mammy. That's how you get a mammy. And mammies are dangerous because I mean, there's mammies in other cultures too. But we're going to talk about the ones that really affect us because
Right.
they're dangerous. They're very they'll condone you. They'll serve you up on a plate to these motherfuckers. They'll serve you, they'll watch their daughters be molested and harmed by their family members. And they'll let it happen because it happened to them. And
When's
the
the last?
man is the
Go ahead. I'm
king.
sorry.
The it happens to them, and you gotta protect them. The black man is everything. That's why you have a bunch of motherfuckers who'll be like, oh yeah, I was hurt and I was molested and I was beat by my black family members, but I still love black men. I still love them, and I ain't gonna never turn against our king.
I don't
I ain't gonna
understand. I
never.
don't understand that. I don't
It's just
understand
you
that
gotta
at
stay
all.
away from them. You gotta stay away from those types because they are dangerous, and then you gotta keep your kids away from them too. Keep your daughters away from them. Even keep your sons away from them, because when the boys grow up seeing this shit that they can get away with anything, and so they grow up and they with that sense of entitlement, like, oh, black women are, that's why I've gotten black men who will come at me weird as fuck, and even in the army, a lot of these motherfuckers will be leaders. They wouldn't try me around my bosses and nothing, but they wait till they leave and they.
Who was that trying to jump in? I'm sorry, mommy with the tattoos. I thought I heard somebody trying to jump in there.
Oh, that was me.
Oh, okay. You jump in right after her.
But they would come at me weird, weird as fuck when my leaders weren't there, and it'd be like when they would think that I didn't have no man, they think I'm young and stupid and shit, and they gonna get in and I'm gonna come in and fuck her,
I bet
her
the
and shit, and
army was fucked up. I
say
bet you the army was
some.
real fucked up.
Yeah, they gonna say something. We gonna, they try to groom you to be, why they, because they wives back home and shit. They try to groom you to be pretty much they side chicks and shit. But I wasn't having none of that. I got fooled once when I first came in. But after a year, after the one time, I was like, oh, okay, so I see what the fuck is happening here. And then but it's just we're always weird as fuck to me the way black men come to you like they're entitled to you, like they're just. You a black woman, even the ones who are married to white women, they'll come at you when you see, well, why you fucking with that white man? Oh, you don't like the brother, son. You don't like, nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? You got a white bitch.
Fuck the brothers with no rule. Fuck each and every one of them.
Right.
Go ahead.
But that was mine, y'all. My bad. But that was all I had to say, y'all.
Do you know what? Even just to add on to that point that you just made, I don't know if anyone saw the video of that guy that was dating Yvonne Orji, and he was talking to the girl that was on the Bachelor, the Bachelorette, the black girl that got with the white guy. I don't know if they're married. And he was just like, oh, when I was watching the Bachelorette, I was looking, she's gonna get a black king. She's gonna get a black king. I was so disappointed.
Oh,
I was like, what the fuck are you disappointed for? She doesn't owe you anything. Like, she owes the network for the check that they cut her to get somebody off that show. What makes you think that she's entitled? It's like there's this unspoken rule that black women are just automatically supposed to be indebted to black men for nothing at all.
They do feel like that.
Right. Even the family members, even the men in your family. I got a brother right now who's still talking about the white man. The white man, I can't get a place because the white man. Like, nigga, what you talking about? Like, you healthier, you a healthy ass black man. You could have joined the army. I told her, join the army. You got a degree and shit, join the army. But this motherfucker don't want to pay rent. He don't want to do shit. And
they don't want to be responsible for anything. They don't want to be responsible for any type of financial responsibility. They don't want anybody dependent on them for anything, not their kids, not their women, because they feel like if you depend on them, that they are weak. So they try to reverse it, and they want to depend on you for you to do shit, but they don't want you to depend on them for anything, whether it's financial support, emotional support, mental support. They don't want you to depend on them. None of them do. While they run around here, oh, well, I want a submissive and all this dumbass shit they keep repeating. They just say shit, don't even be realizing, what they're really actually saying. They just say shit. And then I'm the wrong one to talk to because I break shit down to the chemical compound, and then you'll be looking stupid. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm
gonna start using that.
Yes, ma'am. And you know what? And to go back to what we were talking about, I'm sorry, I want to circle back to the listening to each other. We have to listen to each other, like I was saying, because I I don't understand people trying to discredit somebody who's divorced, like they can't tell you, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, we all have so much to share with each other. I don't be understanding women shaming other women. Oh, well, I ain't listen to her. She can't keep no man. Okay, well, all the information we know about these nakers and just how they don't want to be kept and all the fire hoops they try to make you go through. Why would you try to even shame another woman for not being able to quote unquote keep no man? They can't none of them be kept. They all want to be whores.
The only people that can keep a naker is the state penitentiary. Now let's
True
just keep
story.
that real. Sometimes
True
they
story.
escape from that shit.
Yeah, they working on all this Black Lives Matter shit. They working on this justice reform. Is pretty much mostly, let niggas out, let niggas out of jail. Give them a little bit of time and reform them. They can't be reformed. These
No.
pedophiles and rapists and murderers, they can't be fucking reformed. And Black women is sitting up here voting against our interests and putting everybody else's other Black women's lives in danger. We the only group that votes against our interests. The only fucking group. And the Black men as a collective, they can't get shit on their own. Nowhere. Even in Africa, in Jamaica, they over there selling shit to the Chinamen. They can't get shit on their own. So they play the victim. They play the victim and get brainwashed Black women to, oh yeah, even though we abusing y'all and killing y'all and shit, we need you to help us fight the white man, because that's everybody's enemy. And then they get the liberals and then all the allies and all that bullshit, and then they just that's why you gotta just divest.
I saw in a comment section, y'all gonna think I'm lying. The lady said, if you're gonna be abused, why not let it be somebody that look like you? I had to get up and get me a glass of wine.
They feel like that, divested zealot. I got into it. I just quit being friends with my best friend. She's a light-skinned mammy, and she got something, because you know what? I'm dark. I never had a complex about being dark. But other people think that they're gonna try to, push their complex off on me about me being dark. And I don't do that. And she kind of low-key be, just doing light-skinned people shit. That's what I call it. She doing light-skinned people shit. That's just, So we were talking one day, and she was like, oh, saying the same dumbass shit a lot of Black women say. I can't look at no pink dick. I can't fuck no pink dick. I can't suck no pink dick. I don't know. Girl, I was like, girl, shut the fuck up. Not shut the THEE. Shut the fuck up. You sound fucking retarded.
Pink.
What about the land, the wealth, the money?
I can't do that. And I was like, okay. She was like, oh, well, I don't want no white man fetishizing me. I said, shit, niggas do it. They fetishize you because you're light skinned. They fetishize you because of your how because she tall and she got a big ass. I said, they fetishize you about your ass, about you being light skinned. I said, so what's the fucking point? I said, do you even realize what being fetishized is? I want a motherfucker to fetishize me, be ate up. I call it being ate up. That's another little, that's another little piece of slang y'all can use. Ate up means, ate up means like you just real into somebody, you like them a whole lot. We call it being ate up. I want a motherfucker to be ate up with me. That's what the fuck you supposed to
do. Thank you. Why not have your lover fetishize you? That means, to me, it means he has a thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Well, I guess it's not fetishizing when you put the credit card down a big ass on a video. I don't know what's wrong with these girls. I really don't.
She's like, oh, well, I'd rather a Black man. I was like, girl, shut the fuck up. You sound retarded as hell. So just so you willing to accept anything just because he Black? Look, think about what you're saying. That literally makes no fucking sense. But to so many Black females, that shit does make sense to them. I just, you can't leave, they'll give you a motherfucking migraine with that dumb shit.
But a lot of things about their lack of intellect.
Yeah, I think the divested, I don't know if they call it a movement, but, the divested culture is, a lot of divested women I've come across, online have a lot of different, auras. Some are really, straightforward attacks. Some are, focused on telling you to better yourself. And it's a lot of different, women. And, and I love, how you can, even when you disagree, it's not the typical when you disagree, with a fucking male identified black woman about something, and they just want to fucking attack you, cuss your ass out. They'll fucking serve you up to these niggas just because they disagree with you on one thing. But I think that the divested culture is very is beneficial to black women. It's very beneficial to black women. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know that it was a thing, but I was already doing it. And I just happened to come across it, I think, some point last year. And I was like, oh shit, I've been doing this shit. I've been doing this shit, slowly for the past couple of years, fucking brainwashing myself. And I be trying to tell my sisters, and one of my sisters is already kind of divested in her own way. But, I be trying to tell the black women around me, they not too mammified, really. But, and I talk about it on my page too a little bit, but I think it's very beneficial to a lot of black women because it's about bettering yourself and getting away from all this toxic ass culture that we grow up in. It's just toxic, and all it's doing is putting us at the bottom. We're gonna be at the bottom. It's projected that that Blackistan is still gonna be in fucking poverty in 50 years.
Yes,
be at the
worth
lowest.
$0.
So you better get the fuck out. Learn how to fucking practice.
$0.
What is it called? Hypergamy. Learn how to practice hypergamy and fucking date.
Hypergamy.
Is hypergamy?
No, hypergamy.
Okay, but yeah, that word. Practice it. Learn it. Learn it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Learn it. Learn it. Practice it. And it's like it doesn't make any sense. So many black women are successful. But then, you fucking with a dusty ass motherfucker that's going to keep them in the bottom of the fucking totem pole of society.
Look how many famous black women pay alimony. That alone is embarrassing.
Right.
It's
and
like, damn.
It's so crazy because even when I've grown up around a lot of white men, and that whole thing of they just fetishize us and it is such a myth. And I'm saying this as someone that's literally I've seen the ones who have a fetish. You can spot them a mile away. All white men do not have a fetish for black women. It doesn't work that way. But I think the problem is it's just been overly sold to black women because black men don't want black women to be desired by other races of men because they want to subjugate us to a certain position so that they can continue to do the bullshit and have somebody stand behind them. So it's it's a lie. I remember I went to Italy for the first time about 2 years ago. I went to Milan with one of my best friends. Me and her are both two dark-skinned black women. If you see how they reacted to me versus her, and both of us are just average looking black girls, but for some reason they just took to me. I'm tall, I'm curvy, I'm not, by no means am I going to be featuring in the next music video for whoever or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm just an average. I'm not gonna big myself up. I'm just an average girl. But the way that they took to me in Milan, I was even have I done something? Have I walked into the Twilight Zone? And the funny thing was that my friend even looked at me. She was just like, I don't know what it is about you, but they seem to really like you out here. Maybe you should consider coming here. You should move here and get married to some Italian man or something like that. But it's there's this thing where it's put into our heads as black women that when a white man wants you, it's a fetish. No, it's not a fetish. I've seen what a fetish looks like. And honestly, majority of white men don't even have a fetish for us because honestly, within their own community, they're not really, black women are not promoted to them. So when they want a black woman, it's a genuine thing. That's just my take.
I agree. And plus, I don't feel what's wrong if your mate is ate up with you? I just don't understand what is wrong with that.
Because he's not white. He's not black. If he's white, it's a fetish.
Right.
Don't forget now, if you get with a white dude, every night you're going to have to do slave play. And he's going to be sticking all kind of objects in you. You know that one, right?
Or when he get mad at you, he gonna call you a nigga. Wait till he get mad at you and call you a nigga. I'll be like, man, y'all, oh my God, they blow my head back with this dumb ass
you
shit.
called me bitch 6 times before breakfast this morning. So what do you mean?
Right.
True
Black
story. But it's
black
okay. It's okay
bitch.
because he black. No, it's okay because he black. I mean, y'all, man, I just got so many stories I could just tell y'all. Oh my God. I can look, uh, man, I'm what do y'all want to know? Look, I got so many stories.
I think when we get to a certain age, we are a open book to a lot of scenarios.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't believe half the stuff that I'm like, damn, that happened to me too. He said
Mm-hmm.
that to me too. Oh
Mm-hmm.
shit, that happened in college too. And it's like, okay, if you sit down and review everything from when your memory first started up until today, you won't believe how much shit you've gone through.
Mm-mm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I
It
still
seems
can't
like it's
believe that
another
my
life.
21, still can't believe that my 20-year-old, my son, still can't believe that his father has 21 children. I just still can't believe it. Like
What?
he's he a fake ass minister.
Oh, they the ones that be poon hounds, and everybody ain't the
Mhm.
proper age for it either.
No, no, ma'am.
Oh my god.
I still can't believe that
I
sometimes, like,
remember.
that I was preyed on like that, and that I really, I just didn't really know what I was doing. Then when I look back, it was like, damn, this nigga really was preying on me, and he a pedophile. But you until you mature and get some more life experiences, like you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
got to
Most
teach your kids too. You got to teach your daughters. You got to start teaching your daughters and your son shit. Like I'm talking about the kids, not the grown up. They lost. I think grown people above. I don't know. At some point, a lot of grown people are lost. But you got to teach your kids, especially your daughters. You got to teach them what predators look like. You got to teach your kids about how predators are, how predators prey on you, about grooming, how they groom kids. Like you'll get with they pretty much it's the same thing like grooming. They might say little nice things here and there, like if they're a basketball coach, for the boys, they'd be like, oh, let's play this, or have you been dating any girls, I don't know, it's just like that. It's called grooming. They start grooming you from a
ask
young age,
them.
or if
Ask,
you young and you go out into the world and you don't really know what that is, like a lot of these older men, they prey on younger women, and they groom you to
They
to
do. They
accept
do.
a bunch of shit. So it's a lot of, if you've been through it, then you should probably look it up a little bit more and understand it, so you can teach your kids what grooming is. And because these motherfuckers, they know what it is. It's probably been done to them, or they probably seen it. But either way, you got to teach your kids what this shit is, what this shit looks like, so that they don't end up falling a victim to these motherfuckers. Like, because the shit that I mean, a lot of women, when you listen to a lot of women, especially in their younger days, the shit that they dealt with, the shit that we dealt with, in our younger ages and shit, it's just ridiculous. It's like, damn, I wish I would have known what I know now, but we didn't, because a lot of us didn't have family that taught us this shit. They was teaching this shit to fucking hand us up to these motherfucking dusty ass niggas. Like, they wasn't teaching this shit that was very beneficial to us, really. It's just they
this has
teaching
been
us.
going on for generations. My mom had an incident when she was younger. Um, she had lost her virginity early, like a lot of little black girls do. I believe she told me she was 14, but her stepfather found out. So he starts ripping off his clothes. You want to fuck? Let's fuck. Since you out here fucking, let's fuck. I'm like, wait a minute,
What?
mom. Right, right. She said it scared her half to death. So the fact that my mom continued to be a mammy after that baffles the shit out of me.
Mhm. Mhm.
There's no hope for some of them. And
Mm-mm.
some of the mammies in your family, they're going to be lost forever. And I
Yeah,
had to accept that.
I agree. I agree. My grandmother, she's 74, and I had to go in on her old ass last week because um I can't understand her still saying the shit that she's saying, like being a mammy, and oh well, she get mad when I say ain't no good black men, and she be like, oh, why would you say that? You ain't met every man. I wouldn't say that none of them ain't good. I would say it's just a very small number. But I'm like, if you 74 and you ain't never seen no good black man, you've been married 3 damn times. My grandfather used to beat the brakes off of her ass. and she still got remnants of, trying to get over the mental and emotional and physical abuse that, he did to her. You know what I'm saying? But he beat the brakes off of her, my mama, and my uncle. My aunt, she was the youngest one. She didn't really get physically abused. She got emotionally abused by him. But my
Damn.
grandfather used to beat the brakes off of all three of them. And then after that, she got married 2 more times to men who they just wasn't about the right. And it's like, you 74, all this shit you done been through. And you're gonna try to sit up here and tell me that I shouldn't say that there ain't no good black men around. If you've never seen none, how do you know they still there? How do you know they're there? I'm confused.
They the
How are you
tooth
saying
fairy.
it's some shit that's there that you have not experienced?
They the goddamn tooth fairy, girl.
Got to keep
What
hope alive.
is it?
Got to keep
What
that
is
hope
it?
alive.
I'm confused.
But I think a part of it is like a little bit, I think of the issues that we have are kind of female nature, which is that men, like I think it's twofold. One is that black men is one is that it has absolutely nothing to do with us. The problem with black men has nothing to do with us. It is, as you guys have said before, their self-loathing nature. And then another part of it is, I think with women is that we kind of want to fix things. And I think it really gets, I know in my case that I've never really been serious about getting married or having a relationship. And I would call myself a divester, except that I just don't even actually want to be partnered, period. So I'm kind of like divested from like relationships in general, not just relationships with black men. But one of the things is like when you see all of this, even if you see like when I was dating, I didn't date men with children. I didn't date men who had criminal records. I dated men who could afford, like, should I choose to move forward in this relationship, you would be able to afford the type of lifestyle that I wanted. And then to see behaviors in those relationships that were really self-destructive, but kind of aimed out at everybody, because they say that men, when men are self-loathing, they say that men in general, when they're self-loathing, they project outwards, whereas when women are self-loathing and have self-esteem issues, we project it inwards. And so like all of this self-loathing gets like put out into the community. And so at some point, and I feel like women, we always want to, when you see something that's not you can't wrap your head around how screwed up they are, because it's like, but you've got a good education. You come from a really good family. Nothing horrible has happened to you, but you still behave in these ways. And so it kind of makes you think like, well, all things being equal, maybe some of it's me, right? So let me look at me and my behavior. And you have to like, at some point realize that they really are, all of them, every single one of them damaged.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter where they come from or what background they come from. It's all of them, literally all of them. No matter how quote unquote high value they are, it's literally all of them. And I say this, as a black woman who, my stepfather's white, my loving stepfather is white, but I had a father who was very loving, and I have 2 younger brothers who are devoted to our parents and devoted to me, give me anything that I want. Don't have a bunch of kids everywhere. They're neither one of them are married, but I took a look at them, like a couple of years ago, I took a look at them and I realized that while they are great brothers and they're amazing sons, they're not good men.
Right.
Like they are not good men. And, and I say this because, both of them pretty much date exclusively white women. And one of them, will say it's because of, well, first of all, they'll, and it's not even like there's a meme where like, why can't y'all bring home the white girls that taste like, that smell like strawberries, They bring home the white girls that are not good enough for our family, like they're not acceptable. So why is it that you can't why can't you at least bring home that woman in a black version that is capable of replicating you?
They don't like black.
And it's, and I was like, this is when I came to the realization that they're all screwed up because, my mother they had strong male role models in their lives. My brothers take out the trash. My brothers pay bills. They buy me whatever I want them to buy me. They take care of our parents. They're, don't have a bunch of, they don't have, only one of them has one kid. She's biracial. And, that's just, and her mother was a jump off. Should never have, was not able to bring, we didn't actually find out about her until she was 3 months old. Because he was afraid to bring home a child out of wedlock because it's not acceptable in my family, but he was taking care of her financially. My mom was like, why are you always broke? It's because he was taking care of a kid that we didn't find out about until later. But I say this to say that, like, my mother's a very strong woman my parents raised strong men who have been taught what manhood looks like and what are the expectations of a man. And they have not been coddled. They have expectations of them. They have been taught traditional gender roles as far as being a provider. Yes, a woman can, do whatever she wants and make how much money she wants to make, but you need to be able to protect and provide all on your own. They have these standards that have been set for them and shown for them, and they know them and they rise to them, but they have an amazing mother and they have an amazing sister, And so they've been raised around, they had an amazing grandmother. They've been raised around strong Black women who choose good men who spoil them and model the kind of men that they should be. But yet and still, they keep trying to bring home all of these bottom shelf white women, like not even the ones that wear pearls and store like strawberries, but like literally like, these bottom shelf Black women and I mean white women. And it's like, that's when I've been like in a mild depression lately because I realized that even if I wanted to like marry a Black man so that I could create myself, that's what I would want to do. I don't even have that option because they don't exist.
Period.
And
they don't.
My brother, they really, and I want to just like, even aside from like the less, like I want to like show a less extreme end of this because like I said, I've not experienced any sort of abuse on any level in my life ever. Cool. And I've always dated high quality Black men. But at the end of the day, they are all damaged at a fundamental level. And it's literally every single one of them. Yeah. And you need to like accept that, even if you want to, because like, even if you want to have kids, because I don't believe there's anything wrong with Black women wanting to have kids that look like them, Black men are the only ones who have that problem with not wanting to have kids and take care of their kids that look like them. The only guilt I would feel is like having girls and not being able to provide, have the same opportunities for them because Black men are the way they are. And like having boys who are going to have the same problems because it doesn't matter how much you love them. And even if you have manhood modeled for them and they follow those models, they're so self-loathing that they're never going to treat a Black woman the way that she should be treated. Not ever.
We have to learn that that's what it is and accept that that's what it is. Because a lot of people, a lot of quote unquote divested Black women, they're divested until somebody says something nice to them and they happen to be a Black guy. It's like, I found one. Why y'all can't find one? You didn't find one. Check back with me in, February. I'll see you in June and you come talk that shit later. Love you. See you later.
Because, I carry myself a certain way and I travel in certain circles and I speak a certain way and I'm very, sweet and everything. And so I actually run across Black men of all ages and all socioeconomics, and I get hit on by all sorts of things. And, the men that I have chosen to sort of entertain are only the men that fit within, like I said, no kids. And even if it's an older Black man, I might I used to sort of entertain them. But then I realized that, that like, young Black women even need to stay away from older Black men because, while my observation is that they whore around, even if they don't have any kids. They, a older Black man, like in his late 30s and up, who doesn't have any kids, and hasn't been married, what he's been doing is he's been whoring around and running through all of these high value women, all of these because nobody's he can, wasting their time. And they're wasting their time in their fertile years. And then when he gets like 50 or 60, he'll want to settle down with a 25-year-old. And the 25-year-olds need to not be there for them.
Period. I don't know why they
Period.
would, because they see what happened. A black dude that has an education, that has his shit together, quote unquote. Do
Are
you
horrible.
do you understand how many of these mammies? Listen, you'll never have them to yourself. You need to treat yourself a little bit better than that. You'll be sharing him, and I'm telling you that I'm certifying it right now. You will
They're
be
delusional
sharing him.
about it. They're
You will
delusional
be
about
sharing
that.
them. It's just because he thinks he deserves more than one of you anyway.
And he wants the ones with all of the money and all of the like education because A looks good for him, but also because he doesn't have to like pay any money to take care of you because you've got your own.
They take advantage of that.
And he also believes he's the prize.
He does. They're horrible.
All
They're
of them do.
trash.
All of
Literally,
them
all
do.
of them are trash.
So,
And that doesn't come from any sort of bitterness because I said I don't have any like bad relationships. I've never been abused. I don't have any of that. I was even only actually dating for like a little bit because I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to get married and possibly have kids. But when I kind of confirmed that, yes, this is that, because, you know, society, especially Black society, puts a lot of pressure on a woman to be married by a certain age and to have kids. And if you don't have those, and if you don't have any, if you're not married, then there's something wrong with, you know, even if you're not,
Dusties know
nobody cares
that.
about married. If you don't have any kids, they're like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, well, I'm not married. And then it's like, oh, well, okay, well, whatever. You know, I was like, I'm not married. And so I don't have kids because I'm sexually responsible and I want to have all my money to myself and not have to be stressed out. But like, if you're not married and you don't have any kids as a Black woman, like, it's really hard to know if you actually, as a young woman, like once you get 25 or so, it's really hard to know, do you actually want kids or is it just like society? And so I took a little bit of time to figure out, you know, the whole dating thing and everything. And I finally figured out, no, I don't actually really want to be married. I don't actually want anybody up under me and I don't really want any kids. But like, so I don't even, so, you know, I've always dated kind of casually and I've, like I said, never had any sort of issues with men. I don't have any bitterness towards them, towards Black men at all. This is literally just my observations and the conclusion I've come to. So there's no bitterness here, no, none of that. I feel like I can pretty honestly say that they are literally all screwed up.
All of them.
And you have to accept that if you actually want on and go in there after, like, go in it with a business mindset. Like, white women get married with kind of a business mindset, which is what is it you want out of this marriage? Drop the love, drop the romance, make sure you have somebody that can support you financially because if you want, you know, and get kids or whatever, but like, don't be around there for like all the games and bringing all of your emotions into it because you will get your feelings hurt because they are literally screwed up. And there's nothing you can literally from like birth.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that for bitterness, it's just what it is.
It is what it is, and I completely agree with you. And to be fair, why is it that as women we strategize everything? We strategize our careers, we strategize how we're even going to go freaking grocery shopping, but we don't strategize our relationships. I know so many women who are like, you know, well established, educated, look good, fit, well put together, have their own shit going on. But when it comes to the men that they date, I'm just like, what is wrong with you? Like, why would you even entertain a man like that? Like, I had a cousin of mine who was dealing with this guy who, like, just by meeting him, I was just like, you have to be absolutely kidding me that she works for like KPMG. She's worked for them for like 5 years. She's got a high flying job in like literally living and working in the center of London. And I'm like, why on earth would you want to entertain a guy like him? Why? But it's just, I think there's this complex that they have where it's like, I'm not going to strategize how I date. And I feel like you really should, because just like what you said, white women, they strategize that. A white woman who's got everything going for her is not just going to go off and just get with any random guy. She's going to think about who she's dating and what she's doing. But I feel like as Black women, we don't think that way. We just kind of settle for who we can get.
It's because growing up, you were kind of it's because growing up, most of them were kind of fed an illusion or a fantasy almost. I don't know how to describe it, but
I think we were fed bullshit. I think that's what it is. I think you're right. Like, yeah, we can call it a fantasy. I think what we were fed was, you need a man. You know, like I swear, I hear so many Black women use oh, she can't even keep a man, or that's why you don't have a man. Like, look at that whole Real Housewives of Potomac thing where Monique was like saying to Giselle, that's why you can't keep a man. You don't even have a man sitting behind you. What the fuck has that got to do with anything? Like, you think that you're more valuable than her because you have a man who you're not even happy with anyway. It's just insanity to me. I'm like, why do black women measure each other by their ability to keep a man? You can't keep anyone. Like, a man cannot be kept. No one can be kept. If people want to leave,
he better be trying to keep me. That's what he better be doing.
This is it, exactly.
He better be trying to keep me. I'm the prize, goddammit. And the day that you don't think that I'm the prize, you got to go.
You have to go.
A lot of black women aren't taught that, though. You know, a lot of black women aren't taught how to marry. We're not taught about how to marry up. We're not taught, you know, we're taught to get a man. Like, oh, you need a man. But what they're talking about is they're talking about any dusty motherfucker that got a black dick and, you know, 50-50 or below, pretty much.
I have a bunch of problems.
And we're not taught that. We're not taught how to marry well. We might be taught how to go to school and all that shit, but we're not taught how to marry well because the black community is male identified, and you know and since the black man is he's so being hurt by the white man is hurting him so bad, so we got to protect him, not the other way around. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. We're taught that from a kid. We're taught that from our younger years to take care of these motherfuckers, to take care of men, to take care of our brothers. Even when we get married or seek out a man, we're taught to choose fucking the lowest bullshit of all. And if a black man does have a job and all the, you know, the shit that he's supposed to have, like even that's like a big deal, but still he might not be emotionally, all the emotional, you know, competence is not there. And there's just something is lacking. But we're not taught how to vet. We're not taught how to see abusive men, because we're taught that we're supposed to feel sorry for them. So how can we, if we're taught we're supposed to feel sorry for them, how can we choose better men? How can you choose to marry up if you think that marrying up is you spending money that you didn't earn? So why you feel comfortable spending that man's money? Because you know he's a victim. So you know you can't be spending up his money. You can't
jump in here, Lovey X. Welcome to the panel, Lovey X. You got to jump in there, girl.
Oh, I'm listening.
They love to act like they want to save black men from something. Like, what are you saving them from? Listen, I have encountered so many black men who are more than happy to spend their money on me. I will take your money. I will enjoy your money. You want to take me here? I'll go there with you. Like, I don't understand this whole idea that black women are supposed to be humble and we're not supposed to enjoy anyone's money, black, white, yellow, or pink. Like,
I'm scared of black men. I don't want they dusty bucks. I'm scared as fuck of black men. I'm good, honey. Have a great goddamn day.
Comfort Obing. Comfort
getting men to spend money on me, regardless of race. So I don't understand this whole idea of trying to humble black women.
Right.
Comfort Obeng asks, what examples do black women have when it comes to succeeding in marriage or dating? And we don't have a lot of examples, because a lot of times when you look at these marriages that we think that, oh, these are successful marriages, and then you look at what the woman has to go through. She has to go through him cheating. You know, she was cheating, and she was for Snoop Dogg, for example. I never even knew that he was married until I think a couple of years ago. And I was like, how the fuck is he married and he's doing all this, talking about rapping the way he does, talking about the things he talks about, and he's married? And then the whole time
y'all don't know he has a son outside of his marriage?
Oh yeah, he has a son, and we find that out later. They celebrate this black love, and then you find out he got a son. He been cheating on her. We don't have that many great examples, and so even when we have a fake example like the Cosbys, it's like, or Bill Cosby, like, oh, these are the Cosbys, and he, you know, this is a successful black family, but he's a whole rapist. And then the blackest men don't want to let that go, because that's like the only like good image of a black family we have. But you know, we don't have that many. I think maybe you can look at the Obamas, but I mean, President Obama, he's former president Obama, he was biracial, I guess. So you can't even really count him like the whole thing. But we don't have that many good examples
But we don't
what.
have any at all because there's just degrees of dysfunction.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you
And
don't
this is-
have any. I would say you don't have any. Period. There's just literally some. There are degrees of of dysfunction, and I think that like one of the really big issues that Black women have when it comes to marriage is that we are modeling ourselves after white women to a certain extent. And when I mean that, I mean we're modeling ourselves after white women today, and I mean that because like white women used to marry before, like, you know, feminism and everything, and before they got rights, they were married for resources because that's how you got property and wealth. You couldn't have it on your own. You got it by marrying a man. But then, like, you know, when they got happy and settled and had some sort of prosperity, then you had like the upper class white women who decide, you know, the spoiled pamper ones decide, hey, I want some rights, even though I'm being taken care of. Let me, you know, buck against the system. And so you get feminism. And so then you have this idea of like romance and being able to marry for like your feelings and your hormones and everything. And so like that's where the fairy tale comes in. But we as Black women have never had the experience of being able to marry for resources, like being able to marry a man to take care of us and like, you know, be provided for. We've never had that. And so we have like literally tried to skip straight to the whole idea of like the love aspect of it, the romance and everything, and not have, but without having at least that solid foundation of you marry a man, like in the real world, you marry a man for his money and his resources.
Yeah.
That's why I feel some type of way when people try to shade our platform, because you can't go from being a dusty ass mammy person to being femininity hypergamy the next day. You need to stop by here, young lady, first. Get your shit together and then go. I digress.
Totally.
I digress.
I agree. Everything you guys are saying is true. To be honest, the only Black man that I've ever known that has been like a solid provider has been my father. Anyone outside
I was
of
just
that,
about to say the exact same
Same.
thing. That is the only
really
person who
can't.
I ever
That's
heard.
only
Yeah.
one. Not even my brothers. Like my sister-in-law cries. Basically, my mum is supporting my brother's household because my brother, who is an accountant, a chartered accountant, refuses to provide for his 4 kids and his wife. My parents are literally upholding his household. So I don't know anybody outside of my father. So that's pretty sad.
Agreed. My dad really like enforced it in my brain from a very young age. Like, you don't ever take care of a man. You don't give him any money. You don't give him a ride. You don't this. You don't that. Like nothing for him. Nothing for him. And if he doesn't propose to you within a year, leave him. Like it was really like, and you know, I used to be very confused as a child, like why he said these things to me. But like as I got older, like, and especially now as a 21-year-old woman, like I see why you literally said those things to me from the time I was 5.
YouTube and StreamYards got us playing musical chairs here. I see people jumping off and all kind of stuff. We could play musical chairs though. I don't care. I like talking to all of y'all. God damn it.
But I think a lot of Black women need to figure out if they actually really want, like what we actually want in life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that it will make, because of the pressure on women in general, but Black women specifically, I think that if we take a little bit of time and explore the world, like travel, you know, and explore and have different experiences, because, you know, Black people, unfortunately, Black women, yes, less so than men, but Black people, we tend to be really ignorant. Like that's white people shit, or like that's weird or whatever. I think that if we had more curiosity about the world, and then if we also took time to explore ourselves and get to know ourselves better, that we would be happier if we even just did that. Because I don't think that I am in the minority when I say that, like, you know, I don't want to have kids, and I don't really want a partner, you know? And I think that if we would actually think about how we take some time with ourselves to, especially when we're young, to just like think about that stuff and like focus on ourselves and like on our jobs, and like I said, on enjoying ourselves, on traveling, going on a cruise, you know, those things, that we would figure out the things that actually bring us joy in life as opposed to like a relationship. And then you can also figure out like, well, these are the things in life that I enjoy. Like I just discovered that I really love cruises and they're so much fun. But like I discovered I really love a good cruise. So if I did decide to get married or something like that, I would probably marry an older, like non-Black man. And I need a man who like likes to travel or is very independent and doesn't mind me going off and traveling with my mother whenever we feel like it. So you can find like a man's place, aside from emotions, which I don't really believe in, letting your emotions guide you when it comes to a man, is how he enhances your life. And then you can decide, do I want, or like, for kids, like, do I want kids? No, you don't want kids. Well, maybe you only really need a man for like some extra spending money so you don't have to spend all of your own, because it does get kind of tiring spending all of your own money all the time. And so I think that if we would like take more time to figure out what actually makes us happy in life outside of other people, then we would find that there's so much to do and so many things to enjoy that don't involve having a partner in life. And then also like my mother says, when I asked my mother about practical advice about getting married, she says, you find some, aside from like your financial qualifications of a man, you find somebody that doesn't get on your nerves too much. And I think that is the most practical advice that I've ever gotten in my life. So I know that if I wanted to get married, I need to find a man who doesn't get on my nerves too much and who can afford the lifestyle that I want.
Don't compromise on your standards either. You're going to end up with a Dusty. I said it.
Exactly.
Don't compromise your standards. If you have standards, you made that standard for a reason. Okay?
And don't let other women shame you out of it either, because they will do it. Because there's a lot of Black women who put a lot of time into their education and their bodies and do their makeup every time they leave the house, and who want to say, I have all of this, that, and the other, and you might have less than they do. And they aren't getting a man either. They're not getting a man either. You will check them. They're not married, or they've been living with some man for 7 years and he still hasn't married them. And they will try to shame you for wanting what you want.
Did y'all see that one TikTok where it said you're with a Black guy for 3 years, you're single, you're with a white guy for 3 days, and you married?
Yep.
It's the truth. It's the truth, goddammit. I think somebody got some feedback. Maybe it's StreamYards. Hell, I don't know. How do we sound in the chat, y'all?
I think you're so right. I think that is so true. You know what? It's funny because there's this economist that like she's from my country, but she's like been in America for years, and she wrote this really good book called Dead Aid, and she had Bill Gates all up in his feelings. And she's been single for a long time. And I remember when her book came out and Bill Gates basically started attacking her, and all these idiot men from my country were like, oh, look at her, she can't even get a husband. About 2 months ago, she married a white guy. He's a tech billionaire. Him and his brother like co-founded a company and sold it for like 8 billion cash about a year or two.
Nice.
You know, and I was like, you know what? I took that as an opportunity to just be the biggest bitch ever, and I just overly just started sharing it on my Facebook and putting the most like indirects towards all these people. I was like, hold on, can we just go back? Is this the woman that you lot were saying can't find a man? Oh, okay, that's fine. She found one now. Check her out.
If any of you have y'all remember the topic from earlier, I think it's a couple of people from backstage that want to talk about some abuse that went down in their life. So if anybody want to give up their seat, be more than welcome. I can't pick.
I'm going to go. Thank you so much for having me. I really love your channel. I just subscribed like 2 weeks ago. And you've really helped me you really helped me like kind of work my way through these, like, digest this, like I said, this mild depression that I've been in for a while. And like that's exactly what it is. That's like, I'm coming out the other end, and like it's really helped me a lot to digest this.
Do me a favor and never leave, okay? Long as they don't bounce me off of here, I'm gonna be here. So bring your ass back. I love having you.
I will. Thank you so much, ladies. Good night.
Good night, hon. All right, Cora, welcome to the stream. Dog, it's more
Hi.
people back here. Y'all
Can you
wouldn't
guys
believe the
hear me?
screen if I show. Y'all would not believe this screen if I showed you how many people are back here.
I know I've been waiting.
Go ahead, you got the floor.
I had see the first time I had called in and got, came into your stream, I had, briefly talked about my abuse. But it was like I was a child, like elementary school, 3rd grade. And I was groomed by my grandmother's husband.
So this is your step grandfather.
But I didn't know that. Nobody told me until I got older that he was my step grandfather, because he was the only grandfather I knew, because my other grandfather passed.
Okay.
My daddy's dad passed before I was even born. So nobody told me until I was older.
Oh my God.
And he was so damn bold as to do it while grandma slept next to me, because they had this big house, but they only used one room, so there was only one bed.
Did anybody ever find out?
I was too afraid.
Yeah.
At first he was telling me everything that we were doing were okay. This was an adult in my life for an extremely long time that I trusted. So when he said that it was okay, me not even knowing what sex is, I believed him. And then as I got older and I realized what happened to me, guilt set it, because I didn't say anything. And I put a lot of blame on myself.
Damn, I'm sorry about that, Cora.
Because, oh no, it's not Cora. This is JoJo.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry about that, JoJo.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
And I placed a lot of blame on me.
We all did. All of us that
know.
were touched did the same thing. I thought that it was something I said to my cousin that made him do that. Now, when I was 7, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was completely confused. But when I was 13, I thought it was something that I caused too, and that I was going to be in trouble if I told.
Exactly. And like, as I got older, still in elementary school, I'm going through puberty. Like, breasts grew, I'm getting hips, and I even started my cycle and everything. And another family member, tried touching me and all of this other stuff. And I thought it was my fault because I was developing early.
Damn.
And I could tell my mama wasn't ready. I don't think she thought, because she didn't develop early, so she didn't think that it was going to happen.
Golly.
And I could tell she got real worried.
Did you get therapy?
Right now, no. I got a little bit. I have been talking to somebody. It's just I haven't been consistent with it.
Got you.
Which is something I need to do, is get more consistent.
Right.
But I've been making some real good strides.
Good. Proud of you. Get that therapy now.
For sure.
Exactly. And like my cousin, she was raped. Now, this happened before she got pregnant. She got pregnant when she was 14. So I'm going to put that in between like 12 and 13 years old. She was raped by a male cousin of ours.
Cousin. The cousins always want to get inappropriate.
And when he would get inappropriate in front of adults, nobody said anything. Like, she would, we're little girls. We're the exact same age. So, she's swinging on different arms of the couch, basically butt in the air. But like, ain't nobody paying attention. She is a 12-year-old girl. Nobody's paying attention. And he comes up and put himself up against her butt. And everybody see it, but don't nobody say anything. And I'm like, so ain't nobody saying that to him? She was like, no, nobody said anything. Like, I had to say something.
I have a deaf cousin that Karma took care of. He died in a drunk driving accident, but he was deaf and he was still a pedophile, y'all.
Oh, God.
He couldn't hear and he still was a pedophile. It's amazing. It's amazing that volcanic ash in the Black community is astounding. It's damn near unbelievable.
Yeah, and I had to get comfortable. See, because of my molestation, there was only one man. I was in 3 different compromising positions, and the 3rd time he didn't do it because my tears turned him off.
Oh my God.
He was touching me, basically telling me to put my mouth on him, and I started crying, and that's when he pulled his pants up and left. Yet another outsider that married into our family.
Damn, no.
I just couldn't believe what had happened. I laid there in shock for a very long time because I couldn't believe this was happening to me yet again. Yeah. And my cousin, see, I was very uncomfortable with my body for a really long time. And my cousin, she leans into her sexuality. Like, first of all, she only deals with black men, even after
How did I
everything she went
know?
through. Second, and she judges me. At first, see, she doesn't anymore. But at first, she used to judge me for not wanting to be with black men anymore. She used to say, "No, we need to find you a black man. We need to do this and we need to do that." Because when
These black guys have their hands clean up these girls' asses like a puppet. Sometimes when I check comment sections, I have to go back and make sure that that was an actual woman that said that. You'll look at the comment section and it'll say some absurd shit that we should be putting up with and this, that, and the third. And you got to go back. I'm like, is this a woman? Let me look at her profile. God damn it, it's a woman.
Exactly. And she will have sex with any black man. She will have, like, she has no limits of what she's willing to do, to the point where now she has 2 kids by 2 different black men. And she won't deal with no other race of men because she says she's not sexually attracted to them. How are you sexually attracted to men who have done nothing good to you? The only good black man in your life is your father.
Round of a fucking applause. Damn right. I don't understand it.
Like, I've been abused from hell and back, and I'm still surprised at my stupidity for sticking around.
And that's that
like,
guilt.
I'm course correcting and I'm doing better now. But before then, I really, like, I've only been divested for a few months. One day I looked up and I was just like, why the fuck am I still here?
No benefits.
What was the point of me being here to begin with?
No benefits. And the thing is, if you stick around and you put any future children that you may have around them, they're going to get scarred by them too. They may not get touched, but the atmosphere of Blackistan is nothing but toxic. It's toxic. Whenever I'm driving by and I see like black folks having a picnic and they got red cups and you know with some cheap ass gin in it, I always tell my husband, come back in about 2 hours. Somebody going to be shot because they toxic.
Yeah. And thank you, K Sloan. I appreciate that. But like, I really looked up and thought to myself, why am I here and asking for more abuse? And it's conditioning. We're conditioning for a very young age. Like, even when I told my dad that, you know, I do want to get married one day, but I'm no longer dating black men. And I told him that. He said, you know what? And then, I don't know if I told you this, but that was when he had told me that I could never bring a non-black man to his house, number one. First of all, this man is in the suburbs. He's around white people. But he don't want me to bring a non-black man to his house.
Now, you're like the third person that said that between this stream and the last stream.
Because I know mine did.
but the going consensus is that black women tell black boys not to bring white girls home. I'm sorry, I've never seen it happen. Have you guys?
Yes.
My mom is very supportive of me changing how I date. She's very supportive. And my dad, like, he said, don't bring a non-black man to this house. And that goes for you and your siblings. Don't bring nobody that is not black here as a romantic mate.
Very much.
Yeah, my dad said the same thing. And I was a teenager during this time, not even dating. And I'm like, he talked about you can bring maybe a Mexican home because it's close to a color like you, maybe, but you can't bring a white man home. And I was
jealous of white men. It's ridiculous. They so jealous of white men.
Yeah, it was so weird to me. I didn't know what to say. I'm a virgin, never dated. So your mind is not even thinking about a white man, nor a black man, nor a Mexican man. You're not even thinking about that.
Exactly. And my dad is extremely successful. So why this is going through his mind, I have absolutely no idea. He has a master's degree in business management. He has 2 businesses. And before he started his businesses, he climbed up the ranks in corporate and made nearly 100. He was a 6-figure man. Still is, actually. So I couldn't understand where all of this was coming from. And then he said, so I said, what about my wedding? Because I said, I do plan on getting married. Once when I get myself together and get my life in order, I am going to start dating again. And I do plan on getting married. So I asked him about my wedding and he goes, well, I can't guarantee that I'm actually walk you down the aisle.
That's when your father-in-law can walk you down. They killed me with that bullshit.
Definitely. Was just about to say that. Let his dad do it then.
Shit.
Yeah. Oh, he went deeper with it. He went deeper. He said, you know what? I could support you dating out if you went through all your options with black men. Then maybe I could support it.
There's how many options?
I don't know if I want children. Like, I know I want marriage, but I don't know if I want kids. And he goes, well, if you have a baby with this person, I would have to deal with them. I don't want my mate to be somebody you have to deal with. I really don't. Like my
There's,
mom and my aunt, they're very supportive, and that's on my mom's side. But you are being very like my auntie. My auntie gonna say, "Well, I support you, but I would prefer you to be with a black man because I know nobody could love you better than a black man could."
get the fuck out of here.
You got 4 kids, and ain't none of them can help you raise them. You tell me what's up.
Hell
I don't
no.
even
I
You
understand.
got
hate when
2
people
No.
failed
say
Oh
that.
marriages,
Like,
and
my
2 of your
how can
elders
you
not
tell
gonna
God.
lie.
me who's gonna
That's
love me best?
And it's
madness.
crazy because my dad said the same thing, but mind you, my dad was a abuser. He abused his first wife. He abused me. My mother probably he definitely was crazy. He's a stalker and stuff. And then, me putting two to two together, I said, you don't want me by a white man, but you're okay with me repeating the same type of man. Because a lot of times, women, we're not careful. We repeat the same men we deal with based on how our fathers are. So
Yep.
you want me to repeat the same thing? It doesn't make sense. That's how sick I knew it was. My father, like I said, was extremely abusive. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that this channel is talking about stories, and I appreciate it because I normally don't get on platforms and talk about my story or situations and be relatable with women like myself.
Mm-hmm.
How, However, I find it very, very interesting. My mother was definitely a mammy. I still think deep down she still is on certain levels. She doesn't care about who I date because as a woman, after you've been through the drag and the mud, after a while it's like, okay. But however, I mean, in most women, from what I'm hearing, started as a young child. I have gotten my experience in my early 20s. I was in school, college, doing all types of great things, moving ahead, and I
Somebody got
never
some feedback, y'all. Somebody got some feedback. I don't know who it is. You know I'm old. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I hear some feedback.
feedback. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know if because my mic is kind of off right now. So,
Okay, go ahead, babe.
and like I said, I was in school doing great. You know what I'm saying? Talking to senators, Congress people in college, doing all types of stuff and making moves. You know what I'm saying? Bettering myself because I see my family was not doing that. And then staying with your parent, trying to move out. And what I've noticed too, even when you're moving ahead, it's like something about mothers and daughters. It's just it's like they feed you to the wolves. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like it's like I was 20, mind you, 20. I wasn't even at a university. I was a community college
Mm-hmm.
trying to get exposed. You know what I'm saying? I was sheltered, living in a Christian family, exposed, trying to understand life because I was so sheltered. And the whole curfews, and it put me into a predicament where she had me choose between living with a man or staying with her. And
Wow.
I didn't understand that. I said, why do you want me to go stay with a man? Like I'm, and in 20, you're still a baby in a sense. Like you're maturing, but you're still a baby. You're still trying to figure out life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And and all I ever knew was be successful. Get out there, be successful, work hard, do what you got to do. And the tables turned. And later on, having to stay with my dad. Dad was crazy, jumped on me, and this was around Christmas time. Jumped on me. It was just crazy. And I went to my mom around Christmas time. It was crazy. Like I got presents and all types of stuff. And she told me, you cannot stay in my house. Either you're going to go to a domestic violence shelter or move back in with your father. Mind you, this man is very abusive. And that traumatic situation, it still haunts me today because I never, I feel like my mother, she definitely she failed me. You know what I'm saying? She failed me as a mother, and after that I've had countless situations dealing with men. I'm being honest with you ladies, I'm not fully divested. All this is new to me. I
Mm-hmm.
knew that I wanted to maybe step out of my race. I didn't maybe know how to. I don't understand it fully. In my head, I think the other races of men don't like me. You know what I'm saying? And they don't approach me. I'm
That's not
unapproachable.
true.
You know
That's
what I'm
not
saying?
true.
I'm see, like I said, I've only been at this for a little while, so you and I are in the same boat now. I'm fully divested. I've lost all physical attraction at this point. But A lot of these men are being told that we're only doing this to get back at black men as revenge. A lot of them don't know that we want them. And if they knew, they would approach us a lot often.
Okay, y'all, we got a guest here named White Girl Magic left Star Wars. I need y'all to know that this is a Dusty. Okay? Karen is not in here putting no shit like that. She's probably watching, but she didn't name herself that. Sir, we have no money here to give you. We don't want to be your next baby mama. This is not a bodega that you can rob. We don't like your mother because you're right. You came out of her dusty ass vagina, kick rocks with Jesus flip flops on, and please don't come back. Have a good one, baby doll. Have a good one.
Bye,
And as
Custy.
much as
Bye, Custy.
and and as much as I love my mom and I'm happy that I have her full support no matter what I do, she wasn't, as far as relationships in between black men and black women, she wasn't a good example. She wasn't, because she chose a Dusty. Like, how are you 7 years younger than a man? You 18 years old, got your own everything. He ain't got a pot pissing. Like, I don't get it. You literally chose the Dusty. You leveled him up. And you so surprised when he disrespects you. I'm not surprised. When you resort to the fact where we got to steal this nigga car while he in the bar, things have gone a little bit too far for me.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not a good, like, you still there. She hates this man and you're still there. This is why I left. This is why I was in such a rush to get the hell out, because he would stress her out to the point where she'll take it out on me. Like, literally would just snap on me for no reason.
Welcome back, Lonnie.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back.
We didn't know where you went, girl.
I was back there in the back. I was back there. I've been back there for like 30 minutes.
There's a whole bunch of people back there because want to know why? Because we're talking about family members that touch other family members, and a whole bunch of people got stories. And I was very surprised. I knew it happened a lot, but I didn't know it was going to be like this. I didn't know it was going to be like this. And then Dusties have the nerve to troll this particular topic. Are they showing you who they are? Please believe them. You're not going to find a unicorn. And why you looking for one at this point? I don't goddamn know.
Yeah, I had to explain to my dad. See,
Zealot. I'm gonna give up my seat, but before I leave, I just wanted to add something. I feel like the Black community fails to warn their daughters on who really is the enemy. Because I remember when I was younger, I had a family member that will not be named. They told me that if I were to date anybody that's not Black, I would be beaten, abused, raped, and then killed. But
really?
Just like that. And I was like 6. But now looking back at it, every single one of my abusers or everyone who has abused me have always looked like me.
Right.
And I can co-sign. She's 100% right. We're told that we're going to be a fetish right away.
We're told that
we're going to be fetishes, that they're going to abuse us and kill us, rape us, all that.
That they're never going to take you serious. That they're going to sleep with you, put a notch on their belt. That they're not going to marry you. They do that. And you know what? When I was 10 years old at one of my foster homes, this white boy that liked me, he gave me a Valentine. I was 10. And he was so cute. I remember his name was Jamie Weston. He was so cute. And I went home and I told my foster mom, and she's a very light-skinned woman, and her dad was a doctor. And she was traumatized because of the gated community that her dad moved in. He was the only Black doctor, and the white people used to fuck with him, do shit like cut his water lines to his house and just do shit. So her perception of white people, she used to call them white devils because, she grew up watching them mistreat her dad because he was, Black. And she just couldn't stand white people. And when I told her that a white boy gave me a Valentine, she went in on me, and it just really hurt my feelings. And that's what they do. They put you in situations like that and they attack you and tell you that you can't, oh well, you can't like him because you can't like that white boy. And that stuck with me until I got older. So my attraction, I always was attracted to white and non-black males, but that got pushed down. And a lot of people do that.
Right.
They push it down and they tell you not to do it and they shame you for it.
Mm-hmm.
And either you still do it or you just go ahead and try to and kind of become like a little miniature mammy or something, or and I did for a long time. And then I just was like, you know what, I can't keep on trying to hide, what I really like, but you be conditioned, man. They condition you for you to just stay in Blackistan and wait on this unicorn of a good ass black man that's never gonna come.
Exactly. That's what
Yeah,
my
very
dad wants
true.
me to do because he thinks that black men like him are real and they out there. Because he's a provider. Like his views on me dating, I can put that to the side. He's a provider. He's a real good dad. He takes care of his household. He does what a man is supposed to do. But he doesn't
And
understand that they don't make you no more.
No, that's gone. And they knew Dusties from their era because Dusties was out picking cotton in the 1800s. They've always been around. They've always been around. When they play ignorant like that, like they don't, well, it's not like my generation. These guys ain't like my generation. No, man, they exactly like your generation.
Mm-hmm.
This is where all these fucked up people come from. They were raised by these people. This is not nothing new. As soon as the Big Bang happened, there was a Dusty right there, ready to fuck up everything. Okay.
You funny.
You have to stay away from people like
and
that who try to shame you about
mhm.
not wanting to date and deal with black males, because I don't know. Everybody don't have the same ability to be able. I just go in on people and I'm so quick and I can chop your ass up that it get to the point to where people, they know to keep their opinions to themselves, not just only about who I date, but about anything I'm doing, because they know that I'll chop their ass up. And if you ain't ready for that verbal attack, you know what I'm saying? They won't even do it because they know that I'll chop their ass up and they don't be wanting that tongue lashing. So, and I feel like you have to get like that with people to the point to where they have to be mentally ready to try to address you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how you have to be with certain people, because, most of everybody, is mammies and shit. They just are.
Yeah.
I get tired of
Black women.
I'll never give up on black. And I told the motherfucker, I been gave up. This bitch ain't never had no good man. She just, I'll never give up. Okay, well, that's you. Shit.
Women, mammies tell me, or even divested women, white men don't approach me. That's because they know half of us can't stand their ass. That's why. So they sitting there trying to eye you up to see, should I? And they like, nah, especially if you with your brother or somebody, you could forget about it. He not going to approach you because he don't know what the hell Tyrone on.
Yeah, exactly.
But the crazy part about it, though, like I'm friendly. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a friendly person. And maybe it's just my environment. I get more around them. You know what I'm saying? But then again, my mindset is not maybe on relationships and now. It's just really going back to school and getting myself together. But, I think because I've never really been around white men or white people. Like I'm now because of work and stuff like that. But growing up, I really wasn't around them, and trying to understand them and stuff like that. It was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a culture shock. You know what I'm saying? When I do sit with white women or, and we have conversations and stuff, it is quite interesting what they learn from me and what I learn from them.
We were raised to look for the racism in everything they say.
Yeah, and that's just the thing, and that's very true. And the thing of it is, they're not looking to say anything racist. They're really trying to get to know you. You know what I'm saying? So it's quite interesting. Don't get me wrong. I don't put nothing past anyone.
Right.
But at the end of the day, when it comes to dating outside the race for me, and I'm still in my 20s, I'm in my late 20s. I'm still trying to understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is all new to me and probably new to a lot of women who are maybe trying to open up, their eyes and see that there's something a little bit more than what was told to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, most Black women are race loyal. We want to have children that look like us. I mean, we have, don't get me wrong, black women can suffer from low self esteem, but I say it seems like we got some sort of self esteem if we want children to look like us, So, it is kind of hard to now get into the mind frame of it, for me
And
that you're going to probably have to date outside your race at this point.
You're going to have to.
I also promised to give you guys the Gen Z perspective because I'm only 16. So luckily I was able to unlearn everything at a young age. But I think the biggest reason why so many girls are waking up now is because we have women like you guys.
Yay!
And we also have it's true. It's really true. Because if I did not know people like Chrissy and Paris Milan and CK, I really would be lost.
All of those women are wonderful, and all of us don't agree on everything, but guess what? I'm not finna roast them because they do got some good advice. All of us got a little something that we do, and we have to stick together. You know what I mean? We're only a small group of women, so we can't have any infighting like that. But let me tell you how fucked up we are. Let's go back to the mindset part. When I was about 22 years old, me, my sister, and her white friend now, a white girl, we were in the grocery store. We was going to have a throwback party with a bunch of junk food, jelly beans, Kool-Aid, all this extra stuff. Her friend, while we were getting the Kool-Aid, asked my sister, what flavor Kool-Aid do you like? Do you know my sister called her racist? I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. We talking about Kool-Aid. She asked you about Kool-Aid, and my sister said, well, how she know I got a favorite flavor? I'm like, you bugging, girl.
She definitely bugging. She looking for something.
Anybody who's ever had it has a favorite flavor.
Right.
Exactly.
She was
I'm
just
scared she was
looking
to ask her
for it.
about Skittles. She'll say, you're racist because I asked about Skittles?
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
You know what? It's so crazy because even everything you guys are saying is resonating with me. I was like 18, 19 when I was like introduced to like a black inner city culture. I was completely outside of that before. And when I went into it was actually when I started to see just how toxic it was from the outset. And it's so crazy because even when I think about it, I think to myself, my first experience of black men was like, I remember this guy was trying to talk to, I was about 18.
If you're not talking, put yourself on mute. If you're not talking, put yourself on mute. Yeah. Okay, that's better.
Yeah. So I was with my cousin. I was like 18, 19 at the time. She was about 16, and this black guy was trying to talk to us. And I just turned around. He was like, after about following us for about 15, 20 minutes, I turned around and I said, do you know what? Like, can you just kind of leave us alone kind of thing? And I said it so politely. Can you believe this man grabbed me by my jacket, threw me to the ground, and proceeded to almost start punching me as I was already on the ground? I have never experienced any kind of violence like that in my life. And that was my first experience of being in an inner city experience with a black person, with a black guy. And I think the annoying thing was that, you know, the Paris Milans and the Chrissies and the divested zealots and all of that, like, it didn't exist. So it's almost like I had to internalize getting away from that. Like, I was already afraid. And it's funny because my mum had already kind of instilled that in me. She was just like, why do you want to be in an inner city environment? Why do you want to go away to uni and be in that kind of environment? And I think I learned the hard way. I've really I almost had to go backwards into a situation that I was never actually designed for in the first place, which I had a family that tried to save me from that, and I still went headfirst into it. And I'm now seeing it's just so toxic. It is so toxic. So I feel so good when I see like the Gen Z who are just not having it at all.
I love them.
Like, they're just the best thing ever.
I love them to pieces. I wish my generation was like that. The generation after us is a little bit better, but Gen Z ain't bullshitting.
They're not at all. Like I'm a millennial, and even for like my sister's like an older millennial, and she was divested. Like, my sister my sister dated this guy who was he was a member of parliament, which is like I don't know, I think we would call it like a senator in the UK, in the US. and he came to her, like he came to our house in a Ferrari one time, and then she had this other guy, this other all white, had this other guy who used to bring flowers every Sunday. My mom would arrange the flowers, like he brought them for her. My sister was divested from the word go, and she still made a mistake. She ended up marrying an educated lame, and she's now living in Florida, being terrorized by this guy, black guy, because he's rich, but he literally is making her life a living hell, and she's trying to get away from him. And I'm like, you should have just stuck to the white guys that you were dating from before. You were dating these great white men, and then you decided to go with this black educated lame, and what did it do for you? Nothing. So I think somewhere along the lines we were kind of sheltered a bit too much, and we went to explore, and we kind of messed up.
Yeah, you're very right on that. Because I'm from an inner city. That's why I was so desperate to leave. Because I am from an inner city. And I had to find Divested Zelly. I had to find Chrissy. I had to find all these internet women because I thought what was going around me was normal.
When I was little, I did too. I've been divested since I was a teen. The thing is, growing up around all of them, that's what showed me that it wasn't normal, because I compared them to other groups. And I'm like, why is her dad going home every night? Why is her dad dropping her off at school? Why is our family so much different?
Exactly. And I see, we don't have access to other groups of people because this city is 90% black. 90% black.
My condolences.
And the other races, one part is Mexican, the other 5% is white people, but you barely saw them. So no matter where you went, no matter what you did, you're around black people all day, every day. So I saw nothing but dysfunction, and I thought it was 100% normal. It wasn't until I found CK. It wasn't until I found you. It wasn't until I found all these women on the internet letting me know, like, this is not normal. And this is why I was so desperate to leave. And I had nothing. I literally just put my clothes in the car and I drove. Because I knew I had to leave.
At least you knew you had to go. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Once you realize that it's not normal, and it's not something that you should desire, you almost kind of reach this level of enlightenment.
Yeah. It was like this giant light bulb moment for me.
Right.
And all of a sudden, see, me, when I'm attracted to a man, it starts mentally. It's more mental than it is physical. This is why I can be with an ugly man easy. Because if I'm attracted to you on a mental level, the physical is no problem for me. On a mental level, I really stopped being attracted to black men. And for me, it was a slow progression.
Oh, yes. Say that.
I have a really pro-black father. So at first I thought something was wrong with me because of his talking. Growing up with a pro-black father, you are going to think something is wrong with you. Now, he's not Hotep, because I view Hoteps as, they broke. And the last thing my daddy is ever going to be is broke. But he's very pro-black, so you think something is wrong with you. And I honestly thought something was wrong with me because on a mental level, I stopped being attracted to these men. Their ways and their behavior really started to make me side-eye them. And
Amen.
Came. Now on a physical level, don't touch me. Don't even breathe on me.
Like I always say, I'd rather deep throat a cactus.
I'm like, for real. And I really got to that point. And I was in a whole relationship with a black man when this was going on. When my attraction started to wane down, and every time he went to kiss me, touch me, I felt like something was crawling on me. Like it didn't feel right anymore. Like, and it all started mentally for me. So
I don't know how they see it. I agree. I don't know how anybody, excuse my French, gets wet for any of these dudes.
Yeah, I had to, like, on a real deep level, I was just like, at first I thought something was wrong with me. And like I was talking to CK, I was immersed in these channels, and I even asked him, I'm like, is there something wrong with me?
There's nothing wrong with you. With women, the attraction comes from several factors. Men just fuck to fuck. But with women, it's several factors that go into it. like their stance in society, the way they talk to people, their aura, the way they enter a room, the way you get what I'm saying? So for you to be able to be attracted to a Dusty, sis, like I said, get therapy. Get therapy.
I'm telling you, like once when my attraction started to go away, like at first it was mental, and I used to think to myself, what is going on? Like mentally, I stopped being attracted to their ways and everything like that. And then not long after that, it was all physical. And the sight of them naked just made me want to throw up.
Ugh, tell me about it.
Now I can't do it. And like I said, this was all happening while I was in a relationship with a black man. And I couldn't even look at this man anymore because I didn't want him touching me. It was to the point where I was avoiding him. When I was getting ready, we were broken up and he wanted to come see me before I moved. Tell me why I lied about when I was leaving. Because he knew where I lived. So I couldn't just open and tell him. So I lied about when I was leaving. Packed up the car in the middle of the night and I left like a thief in the night. He calls me days later and was like, oh, you left? I'm still afraid to tell this dude where I'm at because he's a whole criminal. Like, I'm so serious.
I equate criminality with them. And the thing is, well, I do. And when people say, well, white men do it too, I'm like, okay, well, white men build shit. When you going to copy them doing that?
Thank you.
They not. They only they're not. They not.
Even
But that's
the ones
so
that
funny
don't date us,
because
they keep making videos. What you can learn from white women. Can you just date one and shut the fuck up, please?
exactly, and I've had young ladies that I talk to, and we have had conversations, and like I said, these young women, like I would say late 20s, early 30s. I think those are so young women to me. And like I've had conversations and they'll get really, really mad if I speak on things like what black men should be building. But they feel like the fathers of their children that they're already black that may be still staying with them. Like this one girl said that her man works with white men and the white man is stopping her man from getting ahead. Mind you, she's sitting on the stairs complaining. They live in a nice apartment, but complaining that she wants to live in a house and have different things. And not one time did this man say that I'm gonna make sure you get that, or make sure she already had it. So you're talking about the white man, but yet your man can't even step up to a plate and get you a house for the children that you have, and you just had a child that's only a month old. So I'm sitting here like, what? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Exactly.
You know,
like my dad and his wife are living. They have 3 kids together. They are living in like a mini mansion in Georgia right now, and he don't understand that they don't make you anymore. Like you do understand this, and he don't get it. Like just look at your son. He just had a baby out of wedlock, and he's still living in your house with his baby. Like just look at your son, and it's like he blinds himself. He only looks at what he wants to look at.
But then don't you find
do.
either like why is it that black parents are not like, okay, let's put it like this. As a woman, would you stay in your parents' home if you have a child? More than likely, women are more organized in their mind that they'll be like, I have to get myself together. But the amount of stories that I've heard of black men impregnating a woman and then bringing that woman to his parents, his mother's home, why are you not kicking them out? I'm sorry. That's the only way they're going to learn. Why are you allowing them to take up residence in your home?
Because they're enablers. Like my dad is an enabler. Like my sister is a dark skinned girl. She is gorgeous. My sister, I wish I could post a picture of my sister and like share it in the Facebook group so y'all can see. My sister is gorgeous. Makeup, no makeup. And she is lowering herself to be not only with a thug, but girl, a handicapped thug.
Wait, what?
This nigga
A handicap.
The only benefit she gonna get is a sticker on that one in the car. Oh my goodness.
She is with a handicapped thug. And I mean, she is dying for this man. She live in Georgia. He is out here in the area where I'm at, actually. Not the area, but the city where I'm at. And she travels to come and see him. And she knows I disapprove of the relationship, so she don't tell me when she's here. Like, I disapprove of this.
Do y'all see this super chat? I am done. They think hygiene is white supremacy and that deodorant is anti-black.
They think
Drop
everything is
the
anti-black.
microphone and break it.
Like I swear, and I'm not even kidding. And dude, not only like he fat, he ugly, and the nigga handicapped. He sell drugs. Like, come on.
Sorry, can I
Oh
just
my
ask what is his
god.
handicap? Because I'm pretty sure everyone in the chat would like to know. Because
Oh, I think he
I'm
got
trying to
that.
figure out how a handicapped man is out here selling drugs and slinging deck.
I think it depends on now. It may work. It all depends on your spinal injury. And he will literally. I got my sister on social media, and I finna take her off because he got on her Instagram story talk about some. I want to thank her mama for this good pussy.
Oh Lord, help me. Take me now.
I'm just like, come on.
Ah.
There's a black woman by the name of Charisma. She has a handicapped husband, but he's white and he ain't no thug. He got an accident. If you
Her,
would have
yeah.
handicapped dick so much, you could have did what she did.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Like, I'm so sick. Like, this nigga still, you clearly got hurt and you're still doing the same activity that got you hurt.
He
What
won't
else?
stop till he's in the grave.
She
Yes,
don't
and
think
my
he
brother
fetishizing walking women. Walking women
No.
ain't his fetish.
Right, because
and
he
my
damn sure not.
and my brother is no better. You out here, you want to be a thug. You now see. Here's why my dad don't have a problem with it, because he impregnated a dark skin. Now, don't get me wrong. His baby mama is beautiful. She is so beautiful, but she is like this little dark skinned girl. That not only is she in there, but the baby is in there,
Mhm,
and
But
he's
they
not
don't
trying
care
to get
because she
pregnant.
dark.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman who said that women are more likely to get themselves together, yeah, that's what my mom did. My mom had me 8 days after she turned 16. Our birthday is in the same month. 8 days after my mom turned 16, she had me. She went out and got a place. Me and my mom have always had our own, no matter how old I was.
Wow.
That baby is still in my daddy's house.
I'm still picturing a wheelchair. I'm sorry, y'all.
I just want to know
Listen.
what is the handicap.
And
Well,
then,
he
girl,
wasn't doing
listen,
too
Dad,
much. He
she
was
was
just sitting
ready. You
there.
going?
The
Hey,
wheelchair.
divested.
Hey.
And I wanna I see Healing Arts. She said she wanna jump on so she can tell a funny story. I'm gonna give up my spot and be in the chat with you guys. I'm having a really good time, but I don't wanna, hog the panel because I know you can only have a certain amount of people on.
Oh,
Me
how
too.
sweet. Thank you so much for coming up here. Really, truly.
Oh, you're welcome. And if you guys want to know about or hear about anything else, or if any of you would like to patronize my virtual business, you guys, let me know. We
Um,
can help each other.
put your, you know what you do? Because I don't think I have you modded. Send it to me in the inbox and I'll share it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that will be great. I can send you the information about the virtual private mailboxes and the coffee shop, online coffee shop.
Okay, sounds good.
Do we
Alrighty,
have
bye,
a
ladies.
do we have a black Amazon for black women in their businesses?
If we don't, we need one.
Like, why haven't we even thought about that since we are like the big one with the big bus and put into the economy? Like, do we not? I mean, I'm just saying since we gonna
Well, it's
buy
about
something.
support. It's about support because you know what? I know how to do all that stuff.
Hmm.
I had an online store, and I'm actually thinking about buying an online dollar store.
Hmm.
But it's just all about support.
Okay.
And I have to go outside and find support because people here, I live in
Hmm.
Indiana, people here, they don't want you to get bigger than them or, people just be being jealous.
Yes,
When you're
Yeah.
smart and
Pakistan.
you have ideas and stuff, they'll fake
Hmm.
it's all fake support. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's
it's
all
Pakistan
fake.
in general. It
Oh,
ain't
I'm
just
so
Indiana.
proud of you. Yeah. Oh, I'm proud of you. It's like, no, the fuck you not. Shut the fuck up. You lying.
Right.
So, all right, ladies, I'm gonna get on up out of here and I'll let Healing Arts come on, but I will still be listening.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
And I'm
Bye.
gonna leave too. Divested. I appreciate it. First time I've ever been on a panel. I really didn't say too much. Not, it's really how I felt, but I appreciate the little bit that I did say.
Mm-hmm.
Can we have like a panel about work related stuff?
Of course. You could talk about whatever the hell you want to around here. We could talk about work, sex. We can roast anybody you want to because ain't nobody above it. Because everybody has
Okay.
tried black women. Everybody.
Okay, that's awesome. Because next time we have a live panel, I definitely want to talk about work because even in the workforce, it is so hard dealing with black women. Black women.
Man, tell me about it.
So sometimes it's like, how do you interact with niggas? They talk about white women. I say, y'all just as cutthroat. It's
I
not
tell
worse.
you what, if they start saying something inappropriate, quietly go to HR so you can get their ass up out of there.
Yeah, true. Absolutely. Well, thank you again, ladies. You guys have a wonderful rest of your night, okay?
You too.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
We
You
are
Dee,
in
I
this
want to
also.
comment
talk
section.
as well. Guys, it's been real. It's actually 1 a.m. in the UK, so I'm gonna
Oh,
jump
okay.
off. It's been so fun. Thank you so much for getting me on. I've
Of
had a great
course, of
time.
course.
And I also want to add, actually, I'm a filmmaker, so I'm working on a documentary about divestment, like generally. So I'm looking for people who I can kind of speak to as well, who are willing to, you don't have to give me your name or anything like that, but just generally giving me opinions. I'm trying to get it on Vice. Fingers crossed it might just get on there because they like
Oh,
kind
okay.
of,
Go ahead, girl.
yeah. So I'm looking for people who want their voices elevated, and even if you don't, just telling me a bit about it, because I really think it's like it's a subculture which is kind of like not known, and I really think it would be a great way to reach out to more people. So if anybody is interested, you guys can like drop me an email. That would be great. And
Send
yeah,
me your
thank you
stuff
so
to
much.
my inbox.
I will definitely. I think I inboxed you on Facebook as well, so
Yes,
I'll send
that's
you.
where I want it.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. You're
Bye.
so sweet. Bye bye, babe.
Bye.
Zealot, I'm also gonna go. It was
Bye.
really nice talking to you.
Oh, thank you.
And can you send me the link of Big Talk's channel because I couldn't find it.
Okay, will do.
Okay, but thank you. Have
Oh,
a
that's
nice
because
night.
it's no
Bye.
longer Big Talk.
It's no longer Big Talk.
No, I think it's like Astro Junkie or something like that. I think,
That's exactly what it is.
yeah, I think it's,
Astro
yeah.
Junkie. Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Let me reline this is super chat. She said, quote from Fannie Barrier Williams in 1894. Our colored men whose innumerable conventions, councils, and conferences during the last 25 years have all begun with talk and ended with talk. And that's goddamn right, because they're not going to do shit. Period. It's going to start with talk and end with talk. Please believe me.
First of all, can I say why y'all are in this comment section killing me talking about this man in this wheelchair? They are roasting him into oblivion. And I'm just over here laughing. But that is true. That story is real. I can't even make that up. She is literally with a thug in a wheelchair.
I can't. I can't. I
I'm not
can't.
even making that up.
Welcome to the panel, Healing Arts, and Miss Helena.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, ladies.
Hi.
I'm so happy to be here. I actually feel like I have friends when I join these panels and I listen because most of the black women I know are mammies.
Me too. Somebody got some back noise. It sounds like a vacuum or something.
Is it me?
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's yours. Yeah.
Hold on. Is it fixed now?
Mm-mm. Let's see. Yeah, it's Miss Helena. It's Miss Helena. Anyway, go ahead, Healing Arts.
Yeah, I know it's kind of off topic, but I had a really funny story because I used to do massage therapy for like 8 years, and I'd advertise online, and there would be I didn't take black males as clients, okay?
I
And
don't blame you.
they would try to call me all the time to get in for appointment, but I have a really good detector with their voices. Like I can sense the black, like I don't know, like a slave hunting hound, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they would try to call and try to get in, And I had started offering hair removal because I was trained to do waxing when I went to massage therapy school. And I
Mm-hmm.
had started doing waxing, and they were like, okay, well, since they can't get in for a massage, they would try to come in for waxing. So I let a couple of them come just as a joke for a bikini wax, and it was the most disgusting thing ever. Like, I would wear surgical gloves, but it would just be so funny, the torture. And I would have one of my girlfriends there, like, with me, because I didn't want to be alone around them because I didn't feel safe. But I had a gun as well. I was a firearm
No, that's
carrier.
right.
Yeah, but oh my God, I took a couple of them to wax them just so, just to torture, like, just to see them scream.
They're a bunch of pussies. I bet you that was hilarious.
Yeah, they didn't call back anymore after that, but I just thought it was funny. But yeah, they think that grooming is like a white thing.
You can tell. Have you ever been standing in line and one of them walk by and you smell their walk wind? Ugh,
Oh, yeah, they have
OMG.
horrible body odor and hygiene, and they don't go to the doctor.
no.
Because I was friends with several mammies when I was in my early 20s, and these guys, they wouldn't know that they have an STD until there was something wrong with the woman, and they'd go to the doctor, and like that's how like the whole STD thing is. That's why it's so big. The women go to the doctor, but the men don't.
Preach it. You didn't say nothing more right than right there.
I
They
know
don't.
girls that have gotten like chlamydia like 2 and 3 times from their partners.
Yes, and they're not. And here's the thing: there. First of all, if it's more than once and you're still there, you just asking for it at that point. And secondly, they are not gonna go to the doctor. Like, even, and see, my auntie, she's very male identified. She hasn't gone to the doctor in 20 years, and you cheat on your husband.
That's sick. Like, these guys are messed up, and that whole black love thing is not healthy. It's actually toxic. It's promoting abuse
Yes, because they
because,
want
like,
slaves.
yeah, like some of the older black women that I know that are married to them, they live really miserably. One of my older friends, she's a nurse, and she has been married to her husband like for over 20 years, and he just had an outside child on her before they're getting ready to retire.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, like,
Wow.
and then that they'll have to pay. The wife has to pay child support.
On that child, yes. If you are tied to this dude, any shenanigans
Oh
he
yeah,
gets into, that's on your social security number too.
That
yeah.
should
They're
be another wake up call for these mammies and just whoever's trying to deal with them, because they have like a whole lot of kids, and it's just too much of a financial burden.
Mm-hmm.
Can I tell you all about, see, I don't talk about this. Nobody knows this about me. This is something I keep very close to myself. But if anybody is listening who is not sure about divesting, I want to share something.
Go ahead.
The rudest awakening I ever had. I was in a committed relationship with a black man. A committed relationship. I got tested. I get tested before I have sex or do anything with anybody because that's just a healthy thing to do. I told him I was clean. He believed me. And when he told me he was clean, I thought to myself, I'm not going to ask for papers because he didn't ask me for papers. He showed me a level of trust. Let me do the same for him.
Mm-mm.
And that's what I said to myself. So we broke up. And like I said, I was going to start back dating and this, that, and the third. So I went and got tested. I kept calling because nobody would call me with my results. And I felt fine. Nothing popped up. I wasn't burning or anything like that. So why is you taking so long to get my results? And then I'm getting passed around from phone to phone, and they're letting me know, like, hey, we need to sign off on your phone call. Sign off on what? Well, come to find out, he passed on herpes to me.
Oh, damn.
The
Damn.
level of depression I was under for several months.
Mm-mm.
Depression. I honestly thought, as far as like finding a husband, I thought I was done.
So
Damn.
what?
I
So
thought
what
this was done
happened?
for me.
What happened?
A black man I was committed to gave me herpes.
I know a
I
lot of
am
black
so
women. I know a
sorry.
lot of black women with herpes.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, I haven't had sex with anyone since then.
They're
Damn.
sick fucks. I tell you that. Like, the last time I ever fucked one, it was It had to be at least 10 years. I don't mess with them at all. The last time I did, it was an ex-boyfriend that I had ended up having like fling with, like after we weren't together anymore. And he ended up raping, he pulled off the condom and raped me.
Oh,
And I got pregnant and had to get an abortion. And I knew there was something wrong. Like I knew what he was trying to do. He was like trying to trap me, and I knew there was something going on. Not even 2 weeks later, and I went to the clinic, and I was able to take the pill form, and it's just traumatic. And it took so long to live down. I was like, I have no business. Like I can't fuck them anymore. I can't. I just can't. I can't do this.
I'm
And
scared to date. I'm
I
very
will
scared to date
never
because
ever
I have
do
to
it again.
disclose.
And then you have to heal yourself, because if you don't, you'll end up attracting like non-black men that are in the same like type of attitudes and stuff. So you have to do work. Like this divestment thing is really serious.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not a choice at this
it was
point.
at
Also,
when that
I
happened to me, I was like, so this is either life or death at this point. Like that's when, because like I said, I straddled the fence as far, and I can admit to that.
I
I
straddled the fence
straddled
a
the
lot.
fence
I did too, and I feel real like I'm so glad I'm able to like I I appreciate this, because I was like I was fence straddling for a long time, but I knew
Mhm.
what was best, but I was like in denial in a way.
Because we're conditioned. Like I straddled the fence for a year. I straddled. See, I've only been divesting for a few months, but I've been thinking about this for over a year now. I straddled the fence for a year, and once when this happened to me, and the reason what made me straddle the fence is because, like I said, I got good black men in my family. My father, my uncle, I got good black men in my family, and it's a rude awakening when you realize that they don't make men like this anymore. So that was why I straddled the fence, because the men in my family were very good to me and the women that they chose to be with. So I didn't think nothing of it. But when I caught herpes and I really sat down and thought about it and I let it all say, I cried. I cried for 2 days straight.
I bet you did.
When I really
I am
sat down
so
and thought
sorry.
about what was going on with me, I thought to myself, this is life and death for real.
You're really brave for sharing that, and I appreciate your courage to open up about that. My best friend got herpes from a guy that raped her.
Oh, see,
And
these
I want
stories don't stop.
and
There's
I want to
never ending
And,
stories of this
and it was
shit.
her brother's best friend.
Oh man.
exactly, and
Yeah,
that's
like this shit is deep and real.
yeah, and that's why I said that I thought to myself, why am I still here? Because I was like, it takes this for me to realize it. Like I've had them put hands on me, like straight up being punched in my fucking face. And black men in the room didn't help me. Being molested, literally taking metal rods to the face because I didn't want to give them head. And it takes
Oh
this shit
God.
for me to realize what's going on. I was depressed. I was very down on myself. I was my harshest critic. And I want to thank everyone in the chat who's trying to give me words of encouragement, and thank you, Healing Arts, because it's just like I was really down on myself. I was very hard on myself because I'm like, it took all of this. I had to literally go through hell with gasoline draws on for me to realize I should not be with these men. I shouldn't be around these men, and I need to get the hell out of this neighborhood. I
Mm-hmm.
literally took every piece of money that was in my bank account and left. I had nothing when I got here. Absolutely nothing. I slept on the floor in this apartment. I had nothing. I was so desperate to leave when that light bulb went off. And that's why I say it's conditioning, because my mother has been through hell and she's still
Mm-hmm.
there. My
Mm-hmm.
cousin was literally raped and she refuses to date any other race of man.
They
Even though
sick.
even though her ghetto ass has access to these men, she don't want them. Like my cousin Miracle has a baby with a man who beats her, beats her, takes her money, beats her in front of her son, takes her money, lets his mama disrespect her. Like she is being treated worse than trash, and she's still in this relationship. It is conditioning. We are being told that no man is going to love us and respect us no more than a black man. And if he's doing this to us, we imagine stepping out and worse happening to us. This is conditioning, because I was conditioned. And this is why it took me so long to leave. Like my grandmother has been a side chick for 30 years.
Oh
I'm not even
wow.
making this up. This
Wow.
man beat her ass when my mom and my auntie was young. This man beat my grandma, and I mean beat her bad. And she's still begging for this man to love her, claim her. This man married and had kids with a whole nother woman. And he disrespects you like you are paying this man's cell phone bill. This man owns property. He owns property. And you are paying his cell phone bill. Like, I need to understand. Like, and I'm telling you, it is conditioning, and you got to break it. And here's the thing: you need to break your own conditioning, and nobody could break it for me. Like, I'm literally watching all these videos. I'm watching you. I'm watching Chrissy. I'm watching all these videos, and the wires weren't connecting because I grew up in a city that was 90% Black, so really nothing was really connecting for me. And then when I really sat up and thought about it and connected the wires myself, I realized I had to leave before I lost my life.
I'm so glad you got out of there. Damn.
And this is why the first time I got here, I wanted to say thank you to you. This is why when I called in to Miss Archduchess, I wanted to say thank you to her. Because if it wasn't for Black women like y'all, I would be dead. Let's just call a spade at this point.
Oh, listen, stick around. Don't ever leave. And you know what? Let me tell you, you don't know how many people you just touched. But I know you just touched a lot of people because you touched me. That's really fucked up. And I'm sorry that happened to you.
And that's why I wanted to share. I wanted to share because and like I said, I watched y'all. I would watch the lives. I would comment. I would be in here straddling in the fence. And this is why I wanted to share, because anybody who don't know and you having second thoughts about divesting, listen to my story. It's like you're being punished for being born a woman in this community.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was molested before I knew what sex was. When I started to developing, another man wanted to touch me. Years later, another man came to touch me, but since he didn't like tears, he couldn't go through with it. And then as a teenage girl, I'm being beaten on by Black men who are stronger than me, and a Black boy who hit me in the face with a rod because I wouldn't go down on him. I get older and I'm being cheated on and I'm being mistreated. And now this. Please listen to me and just don't do it anymore. Let go. Go through therapy. Do what you got to do. But this is not a place for us anymore. It's not. I honestly kept looking for that unicorn. That's what made me stick around, because of men like my father, men like my uncle, who promises you this unicorn. Like, look at me. Look at how I take care of my family. You can have that. And that's what they tell you. And you are out here looking for this unicorn. And I was out there looking for a unicorn that didn't exist. And when I thought I found him, he gave me an incurable STD.
Damn.
And when that happened and my eyes opened to him, I realized he was a sexual deviant. Like a real life sexual fucking deviant.
And he knew he had that shit too. He knew it.
You don't understand how powerful you are just just letting all this out right now. Mm-hmm. Like, you're literally going to help other Black women. Like, they're going to you're going to help them heal from this. Like, this is so deep right now. I really appreciate your courage.
Me too. And another thing I want to talk about, I met a divested girl who was like 19 years old. I'm older than she is. She's around the same age as my sister. I stopped talking to her, because I'm genuinely giving her advice. I'm genuinely trying to help her. And she won't listen to me. I literally was in a live and she is in this comment section thirsting over a Black man. I said, what the fuck is you doing? This woman, it was, if y'all don't know, it was Real Talk with Yanni. And she did a live with her brother in the background. Yanni even said her brother needs to heal and work on himself. And you are in this comment thirsting after this man.
Well, that's why Black women need to, like, get away from the whole church dynamic as much as they can with the Black Christianity. I mean, I know this might offend some people, but like, it's not beneficial for the type of healing and generational curses that need to be broken, because this is like spiritual warfare, and the Christianity dynamic. I mean, not nothing against it, but just the black church in general, they teach a lot of forgiveness and, turn the other cheek and just the whole silent thing. And that's what they
Yeah,
promote. They promote
that's
that, and it's not good
it's a
for us.
convenience. It's a convenient religion. You can go ahead and fuck over somebody as many times as you want. And as long as you come back and ask for forgiveness, there is no limit to how many times they can be forgiven. That's a perfect religion for Dusties.
Yep. I got into
Exactly.
the
It's
occult
actually
and like,
funny.
yeah, I got into like occult and like metaphysical stuff before I got into divestment, and it's helped me a lot with like shadow work. I don't know if you guys know about that, but it's like addressing like your traumas and triggers, and you get there, you go through therapy as well, but it's deep. You'll have to look into it.
And I think I'm more proud of myself than anything, because just talking about this without crying means that I've grown.
This
Yeah.
is shadow work right here.
And I'm so happy about that right now, because
Yes.
at first I couldn't tell anybody what happened to me without crying, like bawling my eyes out, and it would take me hours to stop crying.
Well, I'm glad you're improving. I really
And
am.
and like I said, I love my family, but everybody would know my business if I told them. Everybody, I have more of a community with divested women online than I do with my real life family, because they don't know how to keep my business my business. And so this is why I usually don't share. Like, I've been dealing with this by myself for months. I've
I
been
am so
diagnosed for over a
sorry.
year now, but I was so depressed I didn't want to address it. And I'm just now starting to address what's going on with me. Like, I was so depressed I didn't even take the medication. I didn't take the medication. I didn't date. I didn't even look at other men. Like, I just really didn't want to be around for a very long time. It got me back to how I was when I was a teenage girl. When I was a teenage girl, I was depressed and I wanted to kill myself.
I'm glad you didn't. Thank goodness you're still around. And thank goodness you met a group of people that can relate and know exactly what you're talking about. That's what's up.
Exactly. And and I'm happy that I have a community now. I'm very happy, because I feel like I'm not by myself, and I felt alone for a really, really long time. Like, the loneliness you would feel sitting on your bed across from a knife that you just want to take and end it all. I hated myself for existing, because we are punished for being born female.
Yep.
And my mom don't get it. She don't see it, because she took care of her father to his dying day, and he was not a good father to her. He was a great grandfather to me, I will admit that, but he was a horrible man to her. And she took care of that man till his dying day.
Yeah, these men, I tell you, another thing that made me like completely like divested is when my mom and dad got a divorce, and he's like a black unicorn, and he divorced her after 40 years of marriage, at like during their retirement. Like, he's a hoe, like he wants to be like a full-fledged male hoe now. And it just really, really, really topped it off after that, because it was bad. Like, just the experience of seeing the only, like, I thought it was on the outside looking in, it just looked like they had like the perfect marriage and just this wonderful black family, but my dad was always cheating on her, and they had a lot of dark skeletons, and it just sucks. Just, I can't feel sorry for them. Like, it's so difficult for me to have empathy for them. Like, it's something that is like a really, really hard, you know.
Yeah, and I feel you on a deep level with that, because I've lost it. I've completely lost my empathy. I've completely lost, like, I was literally the dude that I was involved with, like the last black dude I was ever involved with. I was actually hoping that he would get locked up, because dude was really, he gave up, and I haven't had contact with him in months, thank goodness. But like, he was really trying to come figure out where I was. He was trying to come and see me before I left. I had to lie about when I was leaving. I left days before he thought I was leaving. And I left like a thief in the night. I couldn't tell anybody because I'm scared. Like, that's the point I'm at right now with these men.
Yeah, I'm scared of them too. I tell you what, though, I will blow they fucking do-rag off if they try anything. I want to know how my gun work. I ain't never had to shoot nobody, and I think it would match perfectly with a do-rag. What you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to take
It'll
somebody's
go.
do-rag off with it. They better keep it moving, because the economy is getting no better. And with that, they're going to get even more violent. like I said last time we was live, between us turning them down and then the economy going, I might have to remove a do-rag, and I'm here for it.
They are
Exactly.
divested, zealot. Like this is a serious thing. Like I know this girl that she just had to move all the way across the country because this Dusty that she was with like accused her of beating him up, and now he's like pressing charges on her, and she's facing a battery charge to where she's like almost like completely unemployable. And you know, a battery charge, and she's in the health field. That's like bigger than a
Oh
felony.
no.
Yeah, you
Yes.
done. You can't get a job that way.
Yes, like these Dusties are trying to like ruin people's entire lives, like black women's
Hmm.
lives. Like this shit is not a game at all.
And like I really, like I said, this is what pushed me to share, and this is why I willfully sat in the back for an hour, because I was willing to get up here and share my story. No matter how, I now know that things, weren't my fault, and I now know that even though I take responsibility for even being involved with these men, and I'm going to address that wholeheartedly, but it's like we're being punished just simply for being born female. And once when I looked at my life and I heard all these women's stories, all these divested women's stories, and I really started to listen, I just thought to myself, what the hell are you punishing us for? And like,
Girl.
this is why when black men, when I leave panels, like I would be ready to get on panels and really talk, but then I would leave because they were like, oh, well, y'all ain't loyal. Y'all don't do this. Y'all don't do that. Bitch, we've been nice to you for far too damn long.
Right.
We've been nice. We've been very nice. We've been very loyal. We've stuck with men who've abused us, raped us, and called us the lowest form of human life
We
for
was
very
wrong for
far
that.
too long.
We was wrong for that. I'm gonna tell you something. Soon as we saw that there was a white man with a whip and this man sitting up here in chains, we should have been choosing right then. Oh, this is not gonna work for me, Tyrone. I'm not getting ready to do slavery with you. I'm done. Race loyalty over.
Yeah, and there was a black woman who said, I don't know if it was on your panel or Miss Archduchess calling, I don't know which one, but I do know there was a black woman who said, this has been going on since before they even came and got us with slavery.
Yes.
And she was very, very right, because what's her name? Shahrazad or something like that.
Shahrazad Ali.
Yeah, she has been every time she go on interview, she's been trying to push this whole, we need to share them because there are too many of us and not enough of them, and we need to do this and we need to do that.
Well, when I get my
Man,
appetizer,
where is your man?
I don't share my appetizer. How will I share one? Anyway, go ahead.
Like, and these men, especially the black manosphere, like they hold her up in high damn regard. Like, I'm not even making this up. And this pedophilia is very deeply ingrained in them. That's why they're all pushing this whole, I can get a 19-year-old. Like, one of these men was like, I could be 60 and get my hands on a 19-year-old. That is fucking disgusting. Why would you want that? That is trifling. You are trifling. That's nasty. That is
The thing is, if it was true, sir, why aren't you there? Why are you talking to me? Your breath smells and I really hate you. So why don't you be on your way?
Thank you.
Show me better than you can tell me. Get the fuck
Like,
on.
I remember walking home from school, still in elementary school. No, junior high, actually. I'm walking home from school. There's a black man either in his mid 30s to early 40s screaming from his porch, are you legal? I got a whole book bag. You could tell I just came from school. I am in a uniform. Why are you asking me that question?
I still remember when somebody came out their car, jumped out their car as they were driving in the street to come and get me when I was 12.
See,
Like, I was walking and I remember, I think I was going to the store and some dude shouts out his window and I ignored him and he literally stops in the middle of traffic, jumps out and starts trying to talk to me. And I'm like, I'm 12. And he's like, oh, you can't have friends.
you want to be friends with a 12-year-old, sir? And he did this in front of people. This is what I'm saying. They accost you in front of people because they know nobody's going to say anything to him because he's oppressed. Anything he does, we're supposed to blame it on his oppression.
Yeah,
That
like
stuff really pisses
my
me
cousin,
off.
like even the little stuff that they do. Like I said my uncle, I said this so the whole family will know. I had called my uncle. He want shit. Now don't get me wrong, he a good man. Baby daddy got several baby mamas. One of them is white, and he was involved with this older woman. He in his mid 30s. She's in her 40s. He gave her a promise ring. I said, you ain't worth a damn. What the fuck is you giving that to her for? Why would you give that to her?
A promise
And
ring.
she got no self-esteem for taking it.
Yeah, a lot of them are taking care of their husbands. One of my cousins, her whole head is completely gray, and it's just so sad. She was like, I'm so tired of working so hard and taking care of everything because her husband doesn't work, and they've been married for like over 20 years. And like, she's been taking care of him for at least, he probably worked like the first 5 years of their marriage, and then he stopped, and she's been taking care of him for a long time. And she's like, I wish I could just meet a nice man, and so I don't have to work no more, but I'm gonna have to tell him that I've got to take my husband with me. Ain't that some
Mm-mm.
shit?
Let me no. Let me
Mm-mm.
tell you how bad it is. My mom would literally step out of her marriage just to prove that she can go get another man to try and whip this dude into shape. And she can. My mom is a beautiful woman. We look just alike, and I am very beautiful. Okay, she is my twin. She literally met a man on a dating site. He's a six-figure man who flips houses, and he was willing to put my mom in the house and take care of her. She declined. I said, "Well, give me his number." Shit, like you gonna decline a house? A
They
house,
don't think
mama?
they deserve any better. They don't. They
You
don't.
paying rent. This ain't even a mortgaged house. You are paying rent, and you finna turn down a house you can own.
We look at them sideways, but they legit are confused. They don't think they deserve any better.
Yeah,
And
oh
it's
yeah, my
like
mama don't think she deserves any better. She really doesn't. She think that that's what she deserves. My mama's a
once
damn good woman.
once you
Yeah, and
stop
older.
drinking the Kool-Aid, you looking like these people look crazy as fuck to you. Once you stop drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yep, and these older black women are targets as well. Because like after my mom had her divorce, she had random Naker family members trying to move in, and one of them moved in and lived with her for a year for free. A 50-year-old black man, hospital
Mm.
janitor.
Yo.
Y'all know what I found out that was very helpful? That before Loving versus Virginia, black men had been trying to legalize marrying white women for years before that.
Yeah,
I had no
about
idea.
Mm-hmm.
50 years. They went to the Supreme Court, not the state, the Supreme goddamn court. They want the nation to know that they want away from these black women. So I don't know what else they got to do to tell you. You need to leave them alone. You looking kind of thirsty and pathetic at this point. Leave them alone.
Exactly. Like I cringe. Like the guys on TikTok that I told you about who show us love and appreciation. These women literally say, "Stop fetishizing me." They trying to get these dudes kicked off of TikTok. And here's my problem with this. Whether you want to date them or not, that's up to you personally to decide. But if these white men and Asian men want to do corrective promotion for us and we don't have to lift the finger to do so, why not let them? They literally, when they go on these videos and talk about why they love us, why they like us, they never say anything physical.
Nope.
They're talking about characteristics that we have as black women.
Well,
And the
I'll tell
biggest
you
one, the
what.
constant one, is how loyal we are. And y'all are sitting here, stop fetishizing me. They're fetishizing loyalty, bitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a
Can
couple
I?
one more thing before I get off of here. But like, if you're on dating sites, you got to be careful because you can't say that you don't like them because they'll get you kicked off.
Yeah, that will. That's counted as
Mm-hmm.
racism.
Yep, it's
So you got
called
to do.
racism if you say that you're if you don't like if you say you're looking for like non-black or like open to other races, it's considered racism if you don't like them.
I
Yeah,
told y'all 50 times that those dudes, black dudes, they are a protected class, even over us. You can't say anything about them. You can't. Let me tell y'all something. I get flagged all the time. I sit on here and try to dispute the flags, at certain time points because we talk our shit. But I always ask YouTube, when I respond back, where is the lie? So I put my references in there, like where I got the information from that I said, and they always take the flag off. Now that's a damn shame that all the shit we talk, YouTube can't even say we lying.
It's not a
exactly.
lie. Like you can find it in statistics and medical journals and stuff like that. Like I'm doing a
Yes.
master's in a clinical psychology program, and the information that I come across is deep, and I get scared to like express myself sometimes about the issues because I'm scared of getting in trouble about talking about them. But I feel like it has to be said. Like this, it's not culture. It is abuse. The black
Yes.
culture thing is not culture. It is abuse masquerading as culture.
Yes.
Period.
And there
Hmm.
are black
What
women
it
who are not
is.
raised in black culture. The black women who are raised in the suburbs, and I'm not shading anybody. What I'm saying is, I was raised up very immersed in black culture around black people, and women who are grown up like me don't leave. What I'm doing is very unheard of. Like, the women in my family look at me sideways. Like, they're gonna support me because they love me. My auntie supports me. My mom support. They all support me because they love me and they want to keep me in their life. Because they know from what I did to my daddy's family that I'll cut you off and never talk to you again. Like, I don't deal with his family. I only deal with his immediate family, like brothers and sisters and my grandmother. But I don't deal with them. And them knowing that, they decide to support my decisions.
Consider yourself lucky because I come from, and by the way, good evening, everybody. But
Good evening.
I,
Hello.
hi, I come from a family full of mammies. So, I mean, and my mother, I mean, so understand that I don't know who here is from New York and more specifically Brooklyn, but my uncle used to
I'm
own
from
like,
Brooklyn.
if you Google 1725 Dorchester Road in Brooklyn, my uncle owned that building and several other buildings in Brooklyn. He housed my grandmother in that building and charged her market rent at that time. I mean, he couldn't even put my grandmother in a home with the kind of, you know, with the kind of property he owned. There should have been no reason why you have your own mother, my grandmother, in an apartment that you're charging her rent. So this is something that was always supported by my mother and other people. I never understood it. So, and I'll share something with you because I've been motivated to do so listening to some of the other stories in here. But, my father was very, very like adulterous, never stayed faithful to my mother, and they were married for a long, long time. And he ended up, finding another woman that he wanted to be with. So he decided that he didn't want me and my mother to be there anymore. So he put us out. Like, and I
Mm,
was all of 14 years old. I mean, I came home from school and the lock was changed, just like that.
damn.
So, no, I mean, that was back in 89, 89, 80,
Yeah,
like
that was still
90.
fucked up though. You
It
were a
was so because
child.
it changed the course of my life, just like the young lady that was saying that, what this man did to her and gave her herpes. It changes the course of your life. It changes the whole trajectory of your life. So
Mm-hmm.
fast forward from there, my father is on his deathbed. My mother went to see him every day. I couldn't understand it and buried him very well. So here I am. That's something that I always kept in the back of my mind. But my mother and I don't have a very good relationship. Over the years, it went downhill from some of the things that she's done. And last year, I had COVID. I had it, and I was in the hospital for about a month, and I was not doing well at all. And the hospital called my mother, and she would not answer the phone. Like, my mother and I do not speak.
Mm.
And I've watched her over the years support other horrible black men in our family. I remember, one cousin of mine got caught up in some drug nonsense and they put together like the definition of what was back then. They put together like basically like a GoFundMe to get him out of jail. Meanwhile, all the women in my family at one point or other struggled with homelessness, struggled with, and none of that, nothing like that would ever be put together, to save the women in our family when they had, and when they fell upon a hard time or whatever. But my family definitely looks out for the men that ain't shit. I mean, very few of them are, they might be professionally okay or whatever, all up and down the spectrum. But I mean, they're the ones in the family that get the support.
In
Meanwhile, the
most
women
black families, in most black families, the guy, they'll put money on his books while he's in prison, but won't give you money for your textbooks. That's how it works.
no, or they'll see you be homeless and say, well, you should have done XYZ. I mean, very, very. So I just want to warn everybody. Yeah, we can avoid the men,
But you have to really, they wouldn't be what they are if they weren't empowered by and supported by the women that
Fact.
you really got to keep your eye on. Because, I'm the black sheep of my family. I don't speak to anybody. And some of it is by choice, and some of it is because we've just never gotten along. We've never seen eye to eye. So, I feel like I can say that here. That's not
Yeah,
something that I readily tell people about my life. This is the internet, but I can say that here. So I just wanted to share that.
that's
And
what's up, y'all.
like this is why I'm always like dying to come on here when Divested goes live. First of all, there are a lot of women who are stopping the Divested talk because they're being attacked and being flagged, such as you are. And
Well, the
outside
thing
of people
is,
getting
unlimited emails. I'll be back on here. They can flag. They'll get tired of flagging eventually. I promise you, because I don't work. My king, quote unquote, takes care of me. Okay, so I can make emails all day and channels all day. So I bet you I'll go longer than they will.
and like outside of this, like when she stops, like when she cuts the live off and we all go back to our lives, I literally have nobody to talk to. Like I'm being honest.
Oh,
I cut all the memes out of my life. My mom is not a mammy. She just refused to stop dating black men, but she will hold them accountable all day. But
mm.
like, it's not. Well, it's not even black men. She just won't leave this one nigga alone. But it's just like I cut all the mammies out of my life, friends and everything. So I literally have nobody to talk to. And
Well,
with the
don't feel bad because a lot of mammies dropped out of my life when they found out Kang was a snow king.
and
That's
like
something.
when I had decided to stop dealing with them, everything became abundantly clear in that very moment. Like how many mammies I had in my life and how many women who loved dysfunction that I have in my life. And like there's been some women up in the chat that I've met and wanted to talk to on a personal level, but my whole name, this is how afraid I am of black men that come here. My whole name is in my email, both my emails, my whole name is in it, and I'm afraid to give it out to like really connect with some people and talk and
Hmm.
really like have somebody to talk to, because outside of this, I really don't. I'm just being honest. And like, it's so bad that these black men, such as Obsidian and Kitten Heels, they actually like coax black women to come into these spaces. Like one of these black women got on CK's mailing list and started leaking information to Obsidian. They would talk to
Oh,
these
I
black
think I
women and
remember
groom
that.
them. Yes, they would groom these black women to come in divested circles and leak information. So I'm afraid to give out my email so I can really connect with women outside of here.
I
I'm
feel you.
afraid.
I
Like
feel you.
on my personal Facebook, I've actually found you. I found you on Facebook, but I'm afraid to do anything because I'm afraid of what might happen to me in retaliation.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. If you
Yeah.
feel like if you're scared to do it, don't do it. I mean, we have to maintain some kind of level of privacy
Yeah.
because these mammies are extremely dangerous because they are protecting, like they love abuse and they like slavery just as much as Tyrone.
I would
Like they
love
want to
to
keep it going.
I would
That's why
love
they're
to
asking
cut
for
this camera on.
reparations.
I would love to cut this camera on and show y'all the divested glory. But these niggas are too dangerous for me. They doxing, they doing this, that, and the third. And my life is cool. I don't need none of that.
Exactly, and I'm trying to live a much better life outside of them. I'm starting off on a good start. I don't got no kids. I'm 20. I'll be 24. What today is? I'll be 24 in 2 days.
Well, happy
Happy
birthday.
early birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm gonna be 24 in 2 days. I have no kids. It's just me. So I don't want to be in Ohio this place. Fuck Ohio. Oh my goodness. It's so ghetto out here. It is ridiculous. I literally came out in my hallway and found a Walmart buggy. I'm not even kidding. And if y'all not from the South and you don't know what a buggy is, a shopping cart. That's what it is.
Okay, but
It
y'all
was
got
in the
me
hallway. First of
thinking
all, we live
now.
in a very nice
Y'all,
area. We live in a very nice area. My apartment is eight. What is it? $845 a month, and I live in a studio. We live in a very nice area. Okay, but here's the problem in Ohio. They just give out apartments. So literally, a ghetto person with money can live here,
Mm.
and that's the position I'm in right now. And I'm really ready to leave.
yeah.
So this is why I'm trying to get my credit back right. It's almost where I want it to be, and I only need 2 months. As soon as I get my credit back to where I want it to be, I'm leaving. I'm getting the fuck up out of here because this is ridiculous. But
y'all got me thinking, do I need to change my profile? Because even though I'm like in the community, I'm not afraid. I don't know why. Maybe I should be. But I mean, I'm not. I don't know. I'll check. I have to really consider that now.
I talk a whole lot of shit. When I
Me
tell
too.
you, I talk 600 miles of shit. If I put my face on here, the immediate Google reverse search images is going to be on and popping. I already know. So I'm just going to talk shit behind my little tea drinking avatar.
And I saw a suggest. First of all, thank you to everybody who's wishing me a happy birthday. Thank you. COVID is ruining my plans, but thank you. What I am gonna do is I am gonna make a dummy account. Basically, I'm gonna make a different one with my screen name on it. I'm gonna make a different Gmail with my screen name on it, so I can connect with women outside of here, and I can just give it out with no problem because my real name is on both of my emails, and my real name is on my Facebook, which is why I will go to your Facebook, and I will visit the post and everything, but I won't comment or like or anything like that. Because Facebook is a snitch, and Facebook will tell people what you like.
Well, just make a dummy account. I believe a lot of the women over there have dummy accounts, and they have their real account. Because in the Black community, you can't have your own belief system, you see?
Yeah.
This is proof right here that you have to make a dummy account so you can like what you like. That's oppression.
Yeah, like once when we're done with this live, I'm going to have to make me... For the next time you go live, I'm going to have to make me a different email. I'll still go on there on here. I just have to make a different email because I'm scared. I really am scared because I've seen what they have done to loud and proud divested women, and it's not pretty. It is.
Look at what they do to mammies. They hurt them too.
Like,
I mean, every 8 hours now, one of them are getting killed by their loved one, so-called.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And it's only going to increase during this pandemic, unfortunately, because they're stuck in the house with them.
Yes. And them and those kids are getting abused. It's real sad.
It's actually been studies proving that during this time, abuse in the house has gone out.
Yeah, that's why the big talk is now Astro Junkie, because they doxed her several times.
Yeah, like I just told y'all about some Tyrone trying to ruin this lady's career and saying that she beat him up, and she's facing battery charges and might not be able to work in the health field anymore. Like, these people have nothing to lose. So we do have to be careful, but we still need a space like this to talk, because it gets really, really lonely when you don't have divested women in your personal life.
Yeah, I don't
you're constantly, like, you're looking forward to your therapy appointments, but you don't have anybody to talk to. It's like it gets really, really lonely.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I felt really upset about the last live, because I couldn't connect with no other woman outside of the live because my real name was in my email. So I felt, because it's lonely. Nobody warns you about that part of it. Nobody warns you how lonely divesting really is, because you might not have no divested woman in your life. Like, there's only one divested woman I know about, and guess what? We don't need to talk to her. The family don't need to talk to her.
See,
I
that's
have an
fucked up.
auntie that is married to a white man. She does not want or need for nothing, and she don't even deal with the family.
Because they probably give her a hard time. Because if you're not signing up to be a mule, then you're a selfish bitch, and you stuck up and you think you're better than everybody else, and so on and so forth. But my thing is, fuck them. Period.
Exactly. She out there living her best life, and I wish I knew her number so I could really talk to her. But like, other than her, there are no divested women in my life. So I literally, like, my wake-up call, I got it from not only from my situation, but from all of you. I literally had to go to the internet and look for guidance. At first, I found Cynthia G.
I'm keeping my lips together.
I'm keeping
my lips together.
I found Cynthia G, And what killed me about her is black men ain't shit, but look at this white man, they ain't shit neither. So stay with black men, just pick a different one. Like that's what her message was, and I felt so confused. But like, I don't want them anymore. Like, so
Yeah,
what am I
she's
supposed to
really
do?
confused, and then she has like a small like infant by one.
Exactly. Like she will
She had
talk
a
the
kid
most
by
shit.
one.
She'll talk the most shit. But then she literally said, "Well, I think if you want real good sex, a black man is gonna give it to you." No, he's not.
No, he
They
is
have
not.
I
lousy
stopped having
sex.
sex with black men almost 2 years ago. And I'm telling you this right now, and I mean what the hell I say. I've never enjoyed it.
Yeah, their sex is like rape. That's what it's like. You're being violated. It feels disgusting.
Finna be 24 years old. I've never enjoyed it. Because they just do what they want. And as soon as they get off, they're done.
Let me tell you the difference between me and Iron Bang. Okay,
Can't stand you.
she's talking about them because she wants them to do better. I talk about them because I want us to do better. You get what I'm saying?
And there's the difference. You could tell the difference. You could tell the difference. Because as soon as she said it, I said, oh, hell no. She really said, if you want sex and you want it done right, a black man is your best bet. No, he's not. The hell is wrong?
She's
No. If you
always
want an
said,
STD, then you found what you're looking for. Go ahead and tell that black dude to take that condom off, and he will skeet poverty and STDs on you. He'll hook you right up.
she's always encouraging women to date in the diaspora, right? And
Child,
I'm just
please.
like, okay, I'm
They're
West
the worst
African. I
ones.
can tell you how useless they are, okay? So when she said that to me, because I went to her channel too, but that's not the first person I went to. Chrissy was the first person I went to. But I went to her channel, and some of the stuff she was saying was like the pathology. I was like, okay, yeah, I understand this. Like, this makes sense. But then it's like, but then the other stuff that she pushes, and then when like divested women come on, they're like, you guys do this, do that. She like attacks these women. And I'm like, yeah, I can't get behind this because you are constantly contradicting yourself. And I think like she needs some help. She needs some therapy because she's just like in this, it's like this endless cycle of,
She wants them to do better so bad,
Yeah.
and I don't give a fuck whether they do better or not. They all can take a long walk on a short pier for all I give a fuck.
Yeah, like I don't know who that was talking, but she's
it was
very right.
happy. Sorry.
That's okay. I just didn't want to disrespect you by calling you a different name.
Oh,
But,
that's right.
you are exactly right. And Divested clocked her correctly. She wants them to do better. She still wants hope. And she wants that because her talking points, the only time when she talk about black men is when she's talking down on them in an effort to try and say, oh, well, do better, do this, do that. She's not doing it as Divest Leave because she will share stories about black women who chose the wrong non-black man and go in.
Make
Right.
fun of their death. That's cool.
Yes. I wouldn't even watch those videos. I said, no, no, no.
Mm-mm. When
I
she
think
did the
she
Another One Bites the Dust series, I could have threw up. That was ridiculous.
And I also don't like when she brings on Taz. I actually stopped watching because of that. And
Hmm.
after I listened to Divested Zealots on the Mammies in Wolf in Sheep's Clothing live, and
Hmm.
y'all had a lot of tea in there. I loved it. And Taz and his wife are straight up living out of hotels. She's always on Cynthia's channel talking about her man is high value. No, he ain't shit. Like, I don't
Who's
think
high
he's worth
value?
Taz,
Taz.
apparently.
Yeah, okay.
And
Okay, high
she's like
value my
talking about how he
ass.
takes care of her and all this other stuff. And I'm just like,
Okay.
and then Cynthia propped him up as like this unicorn. This dude
Yeah.
is dusty. Like, I can't even, he is so dusty. Y'all go look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, it was
There are people
actually,
exposing them. Like, they are dusty. They're living out of hotels. They are running away from the cops. It is
yeah.
ridiculous.
The first time
Not
I
the
ever
cops. Not the cops.
the first time I
Yes.
ever heard of Taz is when I'm not subscribed to Cynthia or nothing like that, but she did this live where she reacted to a show. In the 90s, a white woman tattooed on her body, I am every black man's fantasy. Taz was very
Oh
upset about
no.
that because he found her unattractive. So they collaborated and did a live. That was the first time I ever heard of it.
Yeah, their information is not productive or empowering. Like I like content that that's going to help me and, just be more optimistic and stuff. That their content is just so unnecessary.
Well,
But
some
I'm going to
people say we don't help over here. They say that all we want to do is talk about black men. Well, that's like NASA talking about stars. Okay, they are our biggest threat, and
And
that's what I'm going to talk about.
and
And
you
then
know
the
what
thing
kills me
about
about
it,
what go ahead.
divest to zealot, like I'm gonna say one more thing, I'm gonna get ready to hop off of here. But like where our voices have been silenced for too long.
Yes.
Their voices have been heard loud and clear
Yes,
forever. And it's time for us to talk. It's time for more information like this to be shared in public. Like it needs to be talked about. That's the only way we're gonna heal as a whole.
thank
Like the
you.
mammies, yes, the mammies, they might a lot of them will be left behind, but there still can be a lot of black women that can wake up from this.
It's,
But
I
I'm
can't.
gonna hop off of here. Thanks for letting me join the panel tonight.
Oh, anytime. I'm not going to be up here longer anyway. It's the 3 hours and a half. Are you
Yeah.
serious? I've been up here running my bread pleasers for a minute, haven't I?
Yeah.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye bye. And it's
Um,
Yes.
like
Bye.
Good night,
Divested Zealot,
ladies.
can I say something real quick and then I'm going to get off here too?
Yes.
Um, I was thinking the other day because I do like history and so in school I did a research paper on women in religion. And what I think black women don't realize is that this is the second witch hunt and we're the witches and we're the ones who are being executed. And the way how women are just being attacked in the streets. And it all started 10 I just got into this recently, so I didn't really know about all this bashing that's been going on YouTube. But this stuff has just been going on for way too long, and then now it's turning physically and people are dying. The fact that, every 8 hours a black woman dies, that's
Hmm.
insane. That should not be going on. Y'all, so this is the second witch hunt. Okay? You need to get up out of these neighborhoods, stop hanging around
Yes.
these people, stop hanging around black women who have this mindset. Black people in general, I feel like I'm living like a double life because I also don't have any divested women around me either. So like you get into these spaces, I'm just like sitting here nodding my head. I'm like, this is all a crock of bullshit. But no, if you say something, then people want to come at you hard and like crazy.
yeah,
And
like I
so you really have to live double lives and you got to be like in between because it's like if you want to have like a prosperous career and stuff like that and then somebody finds out like I'm here on divested zealot and we're bashing black men, that's not going to go over well, right? But they can do that, right? And have still have their careers. They can be all over social media talking shit about black women and nobody bats
Right.
an eye. But if it's the other way around, then it's, oh, they're oppressed and blah 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 blah. It's like, well, one thing my friend told me, she said men are not oppressed. Any type of men, they are not oppressed. Any oppression that they have put themselves into it.
I agree.
And
Period.
True
Point.
that.
and
and
and that is it. Another thing, I really this is so hard for me because I am the black sheep of my family. Um, I do not go to church. I don't mix with that mess. And if they knew I was like a witch, which I am, I just start going into like the occult and stuff, um, it would be over for me. But I really do think that a lot of black women do need to research like the religion, how this stuff came to be, because nobody was praising Jesus Christ back in the day. Okay? There were always a god and a goddess. And since Christianity or like the Islamic religions took over, there's only been a God and people totally disregard the goddess. So I think that's where a lot of our problems are coming from. So if you can, reconnect with the goddess and like the divine mother, you can like connect with the universe and you can know your worth. Because let me tell you something, there wouldn't be a God without a goddess. There wouldn't be a man without a woman. So I think a lot of people just need to do a little bit of research, especially when you're becoming divested, and then into why things are the way how they are, and a lot of it does stem from religion.
I agree. And
I
thank
agree.
you for sharing that. I'm getting ready to roast. If nobody has anything else to say, I'm getting ready to
I'm
roast this
gonna
bitch that's here.
I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
Look at the book of Lilith. A lot of times you don't find it
Yes.
in the Bible, but
Yeah.
that is interesting to the divested community. The book of Lilith, the story of Lilith, rather.
Yes, love Lilith. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Y'all done? Because I'm fixing to go off on Wake and Bake TV.
All
You
right.
put
Have a
oh,
good
wait.
night, ladies. Thank you.
I'm
Thank
finna go
you
ahead and
once again for letting me be here.
I will
All
patiently
anytime. Anytime. I love having y'all.
I will patiently await your next live and go back to my lonely existence.
Hit me in the inbox. I'll talk to you. It's all good.
But I love you and I love all these women in the chat who was encouraging me throughout me telling my story and who didn't judge me. Cause I was very afraid of that.
Nah, we ain't gonna do that. We already know niggas is dusty, so that story was amazing. I appreciate you sharing it.
I love and appreciate every single last one of you, not only for bringing me to this space and opening my eyes up, but for the future ladies you will awaken. Please and thank you.
That's what's up.
Good
You
night,
guys have a
everyone.
beautiful night.
You too.
You too.
All right. So, Wake and Bake TV. You wanted some ass, huh? Let me tell you what you can do with your shout out to David Carroll and Minister Jap. You can grab your camera phone, grab a dildo, spit on it, sit on it, and watch David and Minister Jap do a 69. You can beat off and get the fuck off of my live. I hope you did what I'm telling you, sweetheart. Anyway, I'm getting ready to get the hell up off here. I don't like you guys waste your time over here. Bye.